Hello everyone, welcome back to Hinamizawa. Satoshi did nothing wrong. Hold on, my borderless application just closed for no reason. That was pretty cool.
Damn.
I don't think we looked at the tip last time, so let's go through that.
I don't think
Did
we
we?
did.
Notebook page 29. Either Satoshi-kun was smart, or very lucky. Or maybe it wasn't him. The police found nothing at all at the crime scene to indicate his involvement in the murder. Yet Satoshi-kun was still the prime suspect. Considering his home environment, he had a strong enough motive. He had no alibi. Hold on, why is my fucking application not launching? Hello? Please?
Pickle issues are fun.
Oh no, please don't do this to me right now. Fucking borderless
Patient has
gaming.
no alibi.
My favorite game on Steam. Anyway. He had no alibi. The police had everything other than physical evidence. It wasn't surprising that Oishi took a chance. He probably didn't expect me to step in, but what I did was too little to avert his suspicion of Satoshi-kun. Oishi believes that Satoshi-kun did it. He was waiting for Satoshi-kun to fall apart and confess. That's what both Oishi and I were thinking. But that hypothesis was destroyed later on. I'll not talk about it now, but Oishi's theory will be disproven, and the police will be thrown into shock. A
His aunt did
question
it to herself.
comes to mind. That is, who saved Satoshi-kun? I can only think of the possibility that the Sonozaki family invented the culprit. Yeah, I mean, that's probably about where I was gonna go with that, but kinda wish I could come up with a more detailed theory. Oh well. The cops were smart enough to separate us during questioning. Uishi didn't come to talk to me. His aim was Satoshi-kun and nobody else. I got a young cop who just talked about ordinary things, that's Kumagai. He must have been trying to ease me into the interrogation. When I realized that, the clumsy way he spoke began to frustrate me. Is Satoshi-kun alright? I didn't think Oishi really brought my testimony. He must have been trying to get Satoshi-kun to confess in spite of that. All I could do was pray that he'd keep quiet. The phone on the desk rang, and the cop picked it up. Gay! I predicted it! Let's go!
Wasn't I him?
I think
This
so.
is Kuma. This is Kuma guy. What? Alright, I understand. Right away.
He
I don't
hung,
remember what voice I did.
he hung up and told me somebody had come to retrieve me. Looked like Satoshi-kun had to stay. Were they going to continue the interrogation just because he had nobody to pick him up? Although, maybe I should have been worrying more about myself. The hag had probably heard of me by now, since I revealed my real identity to the police. I couldn't hide any longer. I was going to receive some sort of punishment. I had no idea what she'd end up doing to me. The degree of punishment for a traitor is always severe in the world of the Sonozakis. The punishment must be carried out. If it's to protect the family's reputation, it's carried out no matter what. Maybe I should kiss my pinky finger while I still can. I asked the young cop just in case. Hey, did you know that in America, if a condemned criminal gets arrested in a state, which has banned capital punishment, they'll refuse to surrender him to the state prosecuting him if that state hasn't banned it? Is it not coming through your mic?
I thought it did.
Yeah, I guess it just gets noise suppressed a little bit.
Aw.
Maybe it was too difficult for him. He just looked puzzled. A glossy black car was waiting for me in front of the police station. A few men from my dad's office bowed to me.
It's been a long time, Shion-san.
Where's Kasai? Kasai has been helping me ever since my escape from the school. they wouldn't allow him to walk free. How's Sis doing? Does she have something to say about this?
We were only told to bring you to the main house. Please ask her when you get there.
After saying that, he escorted me into the car. A man sat on either side of me. Obviously, they didn't want me to escape. Thinking of Sadashi-kun, I looked back at the police station. Hold on tight, Sadashi-kun. I'll grin and bear it, too. Girl, you're about to get your pinky cut off. The car started off roughly.
They're gonna take her gun.
She's not the one with the gun.
Well, that's what's happening though.
Oh, they're
taking her
swapping
gun.
the gun. Oh, okay.
The family gun.
They're swapping the... They sent her to St. Lucia's with the family gun. It's her only possession.
No.
They didn't even
I
give her
don't think
clothes,
that
they just had
happened.
the family gun.
Well, of course they didn't bring her clothes. St. Lucia is a school with uniforms. Anyway, it was never a good occasion when I went to this house.
Well, she didn't even get one.
Except when Mion and I were really small, oblivious of what the Sonozaki name meant for us. I'd been here only when I had to attend boring family councils. The car parked behind the house. Traders aren't allowed in through the main gate. I got out of the car. It looked like Sis would be the only person to receive me. I almost spoke to her casually, but her cold gaze froze me before I could. It's been a while, Shion. I never expected to see you other than on New Year's. It gave me chills to hear her greet me in that cold manner. It's a pleasure to see you again, Mion-sama. I feel overjoyed to have the chance to see you, other than on New Year's. I responded, trying to sound likewise. Our leader is deeply upset. I wonder how you'll explain yourself. I have nothing to explain. I had no excuse. I'd escaped from the school solely because I couldn't stand it there. That was all. Shion, come this way. Everyone is waiting for you. Mion escorted me, and the others followed. Oh boy, this is a good scene. I can already tell. We went to the garden, not into the house yet, to the torture room. As we passed through the huge yard into the woods, I realized where she was taking me. When we were little, we were told never to go near these woods. I had a vague idea of what was in the back of them. I'd heard there was a hidden entrance to the underground torture room, where they used to punish the enemies of the family. The more hideous rumors I heard about the family, the more credible those rumors seemed. Well, I wasn't completely certain about any of that. I'd never expected to see the torture room for myself. We came to a concave clearing in the middle of the woods.
It's where Keiichi
Yeah.
buried Teppei.
Yeah, it's where Keiichi
It's the
was
exact
having
spot.
a fun time with Teppei. I saw a metal door at the bottom of it. The door reminded me of a bomb shelter. So, this is the underground torture room, huh? I was surprised to hear my own voice. My voice was trembling. It made me realize that I was more scared than I thought. Nobody answered my question. The very air felt tense. According to the family rules, one of the twins must be eliminated. Was I finally going to be eliminated? I realized that I had been underestimating my punishment. I hadn't been aware of the real terror until now. I just thought I was. Beyond the steel door, the air had an intimidating smell. This really was happening to me. I shouldn't allow myself to give in to fear. I felt like saying something rude, but my lips were dry, and my fingers were fidgeting. I was escorted through the narrow hallway and down a few sets of stairs. There, I saw another huge steel door. So, this was the place. It was spacious and utterly odd-looking room. The room had two sections that looked completely different. One side looked like a lounge. I saw several high-ranking members of the family council sitting on cushions there, looking expressionless. The other half was tiled, as if in a large public bath. That was already puzzling enough. And there were those things. To be honest, they had captured my attention from the moment I arrived. I noticed them even before I saw the lounge and tiled space. I just didn't want to accept that they existed. I couldn't stand straight. I almost dropped to my knees. But I couldn't. 2 young men had been holding me by the arm since I got here. There were oddly shaped things hanging from the wall. I was just refusing to recognize what they were. I knew exactly what they were called. I see. I see. I understood that. Those eerily shaped objects were torture devices from hell. Who is doing Oryou again? Somebody else can take this. I've been doing a lot of voice.
Damned fool, how dare you attack?
The hag, sitting in front of the lounge, intimidating me in a horrid voice. This is an interesting track. She kept cursing me for a little while, but she was so incensed that I could barely tell what she was saying. I know what she was trying to say, though. The hag was willing to forgive my escape from the school. But once I revealed my identity to the police, she had to step in. Since I had disobeyed the family rule, she, as the leader, was forced to punish me. Moreover, there was one thing that bothered her more than anything else. The fact that I covered for Satoshi-kun. The Hojo family had been seen as traitors to the village ever since the dam conflict. Satoshi-kun was still considered one of them. She couldn't accept that I was connected to him. To me, this was a bit unexpected. I'd escaped from the school the hag had put me in. All the while, I believed that was what she was upset about. But in fact, she said she was most uncomfortable with my connection with Satoshi-kun. I couldn't believe this. Of course I knew that Satoshi-kun's family was persecuted for their betrayal. But I didn't think that Satoshi-kun was also burdened with that responsibility. He has nothing to do with that. I understand that his parents were ostracized, but he shouldn't be. Oops.
The hell up!
The hag interrupted me with a shout, which made me cower in fear. She continued slandering the Hojos, and said that Satoshi-kun was a cursed child. I started feeling pissed off. What did he do to deserve this? What was he being blamed for? It was too late when I realized I'd said that out loud. The hag looked furious. I'd obviously upset her. I decided to repeat myself to make it very clear how I felt. What are you saying, you old hag? Everything you've spouted is nonsense.
Who the hell do you think you're talking to?
Shut the fuck up! Let me finish! I shouted loudly to silence the hag.
Adult language. There might be money counting in this episode.
What the fuck do you know about Satoshi-kun? How could you talk about him like he's some pest when you don't know anything about him? I know how sweet he is. You don't like him because he's a Hojo? How fucking stupid is that? Is even your brain archaic or what? You hate the fact that a Sonozaki is with a Hojo that much? That's not just stupid. That's beyond stupid. Boy, I never expected to feel like Juliet. My voice became hoarse from shouting. My face was messy with tears. Even so, I didn't feel like putting a stop to my emotional explosion. I was all too aware that I was just doing this to overwhelm my fear. The hag was glaring at me while breathing heavily. I glared back at her as fiercely as I could. Eventually, I realized that her sticking point was my relationship with Satoshi-kun. Did you know that Ryuki... She wasn't only upset that I had a mere connection with him. I see. Looks like Mion mentioned that, too. It was as though Mion was wearing a mask. She didn't budge under my penetrating glare. That was what the hag was really unhappy about. The fact that I was in love with Satoshi-kun. I don't give a shit about his family background or my own. Yeah, I'll admit that I'm in love with him. I love Sadashi Hojo-kun. I love him so much. Is that so wrong? Do you need a reason to love somebody? I could see the relatives shaking their heads in turmoil. Among them, I saw my mom. She must have been trying to protect me. But even she wouldn't look at me. Instead, she looked silently at the floor. Did you guys in the back hear me? Am I wrong? You know how sweet Sadashi-kun is in an instant if you'd bother to get to know him. How can you put him down without... Mian held out a hand to silence me. Then, she slowly walked in my direction. That is enough, Shion. I understand what you wanted to say. Mian put her head close to mine and whispered. Shion, I know how you feel, but you can't go back after coming this far. You have to pay for what you did. What did I do? Why me? That's ridiculous. Shion. Mian's face turned cold again, and she calmly told me. You're probably right, but this is Hinamizawa, and we are Sonozakis, as I'm sure you understand. We are the leaders of the Free Families, and you are the twin sister of the successor, Mion Sonozaki. Yet, I interrupted her. We haven't agreed on that matter ever since I came back. You're full of this reputation shit. Hinamizawa? The Sonozakis? So what? I don't give a fuck about... Listen! Mian interrupted me, just like I did her. How many people did you depend on to start your new life in Okinomiya? Chills shot through my spine. Kasai-san is in the cell at the back. Why Kasai? I knew why, of course. The moment I got caught, those who helped me were destined to meet the same fate. We were all subject to the punishment of betrayal. Maybe my punishment would be made lighter than what they'd be going through. Kasai and Uncle Yoshiro must have been treated much worse than this. Everyone who helped me was falling victim. I know that you are prepared for your punishment, but have you ever thought about the consequences that Kasai-san and Uncle Yoshiro will have to face? My head rapidly cooled down. My aggression was all used up. I should be able to bear whatever punishment they'd bring on me, but I resented the fact that I'd be putting the people who supported me at risk. Shion, apologize to Granny. If you do, the others won't have to suffer, alright? But, Mion, did I really do something wrong? Was any of what I did that bad? The moment Mion learned that I wasn't willing to apologize, her expression turned cold again. She turned her back to me and returned to the lounge. I talked back to the hag in a really harsh manner. I told her that I didn't do anything wrong. Yet I had involved many people to who I owed so much. It went without saying, this was my responsibility. I was the sole person to blame, and no fault lay with them. I'm noticing some parallels here. Yes, Kasai and Uncle and Yoshiro-san were blameless, just as Sadashi-kun was. But then, as if she read my mind, Mion turned around and gave a slight nod. It was possible that something was going to happen to Sadashi-kun, on top of Kasai and Uncle Yoshiro. Wait, sis! That can't happen. Sadashi-kun, I mean, nobody else should be punished. Please forgive them. What is it, Shion? Tears rolled down my cheeks. I no longer cared about my pride. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Please forgive me. I should have said what the hag wanted to hear. Yet, she still looked unsatisfied. Maybe that wasn't too surprising. I had just denounced her so badly in front of all the relatives. She wouldn't forgive me so easily. Just then, Mion spoke as the successor. So, Shion, how do you propose to pay for this? Pay? What do you want me to do? Nothing could be scarier than being told to pay up while standing next to horrid-looking torture devices. I was completely terrified. I couldn't move from trembling. Mion saw that and whispered to our grandmother. The hag nodded. Mion summoned some young minions and gave them an order. They removed one of the torture devices hanging on the wall, then set a table in front of me and put the device on top of it. What is this? Oh boy! Hey, maybe I did have some merit when I said that! It's a tool for removing fingernails. Do you know how to use it? No way! I shook as I stared at the tool. It looked like a giant nail clipper. You probably put the part that looks like a beak between your finger and fingernail, pulling them apart if you squeeze the handle. The chills ran up and down my spine when I imagined that. Each fingernail represents one of your responsibilities. Shion Sonozaki, no matter which ones you choose, you must remove 3 nails yourself. 3. 1 for Kasai, 1 for Uncle Yoshiro, and the last for Sadashi-kun. It was a fairly reasonable number.
Well, it'll grow back.
I think 0 is a pretty reasonable number. Will you
Nah.
really not punish the others? Promise me. Please let them go if I do this. This is a punishment, not a negotiation. If you don't like the procedure, I'll do it. Just give me a second. I'm doing it. I put the device to my little finger while shaking badly. If my fingernail were shorter, it would have been harder. The metal beak captured my little finger perfectly. The subordinates then stabilized my left hand with a different restraining tool. That seemed reasonable, because my finger would slip out if it weren't restrained like that. As the
Okay,
subordinate...
it's reasonable.
Yeah, it's reasonable. This is all pretty reasonable. So I guess they do have a dedicated fingernail removal tool, huh?
She's in a masochism chamber.
As the subordinates buckled up the leather straps, I realized that this was really happening, and there was no escape. Somewhere in my mind, I'd been thinking that they might forgive me after just this gesture alone. I shouldn't have been so naive. The emotions I'd been holding back appeared in the form of tears and kept rolling down my cheeks. It was like my feelings were being squeezed out until the very last drip. Something even more horrifying followed this. It was the silence that awaited my next action. So, what should I do now? One of the subordinates pointed to the handle and told me to either squeeze it or hit it. He recommended that the latter would be easier, to make it quick. Nobody said anything after that. There was nothing to hear but the sound of my sweat dripping onto the floor. The onlookers were staring at me silently, waiting for me to execute my punishment. Both the hag and Mion. They were also anticipating it. I could refuse, but that meant I wouldn't be paying up. This punishment exists to offer payment in exchange for the safety of those who helped me. If I refused, they would suffer. I started breathing heavily. I knew that if I did this, the others would go free. This was, if you thought about it, quite a good deal.
Pretty reasonable.
Pretty
It's
reasonable,
pretty
even.
reasonable, you know.
If it weren't me, it would just be 3 fingernails. It wouldn't just be 3 fingernails. If it were Kasai, he'd have to sacrifice his little finger, or something even worse. I knew that. It was my selfish desire to get away from that school. Why did Kasai have to suffer because of that? I knew that. Why did Uncle Yoshiro have to suffer just because he provided me with a job?
Why
I
don't
knew-
you get a job at Majestic 12?
What? I don't get that reference, sorry.
Maybe you should try joining Majestic 12 in a body bag.
I knew the hag and the other relatives still hated the Hojos. So I didn't know what they'd do to Sadashi-kun if I didn't do this. Would they bring Sadashi-kun here and tell him to do the same? Would they tell him to remove his fingernails in exchange for forgiving me? He'd do it. He'd sacrifice himself with no hesitation in order to save others. My sweat dripped onto the table through my nose. I'd do it. Yes. It was only 3 fingernails. It might hurt a lot, but I wouldn't die. The fingernails would grow back. It wouldn't even leave a huge scar. I shouldn't be afraid. The punishment was minimal because it was me. If I refused to do this, the others would be punished much more severely. I couldn't let that happen to Kasai, Uncle Yoshiro, or Sadashi-kun. I was the only one who should be punished. So I just needed to bear the pain. And Sadashi-kun would be fine.
Oh.
Ow. Ah! I wasn't just breathing heavily anymore. I was also moaning faintly, ready to scream at any moment. That's right. Make it quick. Okay, maybe I preemptively did it. Whoops.
She truly is in the masochism chamber.
This wasn't torture, so I didn't have to prolong the moment of pain. I should do it in one swift blow. That way, my pain and fear would be minimized. I raised my right arm. Quickly. The pain would be lessened if I did it in one stroke. It'd be much more painful if I messed it up. I held my breath. I felt as if my body was frozen. I was choking. The chills crept up my spine. Don't be afraid, Shion. Fingernails are just a tiny fraction of the whole body. Just 1 square centimeter. I could do this. I could bear it. I smacked my right hand onto the handle of the device. I sensed the noise through my body instead of my ears. At the same time, I felt a pain I'd never experienced before. A moment later, the pain pulsated with my heartbeat. I clenched my teeth. I felt like my teeth were cracking. I tightly shut my eyes, until my eyeballs got squeezed up. The pain wouldn't fade. Rather, it swelled up with my blood pressure. It felt as though it was bloating like a balloon. Timidly, I opened my eyes. I found that my little finger wasn't really drenched in blood. It was bleeding, but not much. Certainly not enough to explain how much it hurt. My fingernail was open just like the hood of the car. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was overwhelming. It occurred to me that I'd only done 1 out of 3. Did I have to repeat this 2 more times? Did I have to remove the nails from my ring and middle fingers as well? I looked at the hag and at Neon, begging for mercy. But they were just silently staring at me, as if the show had only just begun. I saw no hint of mercy in their eyes. They wouldn't be changing their minds. Since they said 3, it had to be 3. They wouldn't forgive me until I removed 2 more fingernails. Neon, look, isn't this enough? It really hurts, you know that? You see that in my eyes, don't you? It really hurts. Neon answered.
She should have taken nail peeling resistance in character creation.
I agree. Neon answered, still wearing a cold look. Shion, you can't keep going? She didn't mean that it was sufficient. What she meant is that the others would have to take the remaining punishment if I didn't. I knew that. I really did know. I'll do it. This is easy. You sadists. This doesn't scare me. This doesn't hurt. Ah! I quickly moved the metal beak and set it on my ring finger, and smacked it with no hesitation. Instead of making it quick, maybe I was just rushing out of fear. I'd messed up. The torture tool had clipped just the tip of my fingernail. The pain, however, was equal. I couldn't believe I'd only chipped it. Did I have to do it again? Did I have to continue removing the nail from my ring finger? How much pain? Again? This track is sick, by the way. Again?
Yeah.
Shion? No. Sorry, I said that wrong. Shion? No! Ah! I don't want to do it! I couldn't bear it anymore. I started crying shamelessly. I can't take it anymore. It's too painful. Forgive me, please. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They didn't seem to hear my voice. I felt as though there was an invisible barrier between us. They showed no mercy. They were just here to witness this ritual. So, rather than sympathetic, they looked amazed by my screw-up. Neon walked up to me and whispered to my crying face, Shion, there's just a bit more to go. Hang in there. No, 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 no! I can't do this! It really hurts. It really does! Neon shook her head, then signaled the subordinates. They came from behind me. They covered my head with something like a knit cap. It was a blindfold. One of them pinned me in a Nelson hold, restricting my movement. No! Stop it! No! I couldn't overpower the guy behind me. Then, I felt something strange on my left hand. The other guy was doing something with the torture tool. He put the metal beak between my ring finger and its fingernail. No! Mom, help me! Mom! Ah! My left hand was still fixed in the restraints, so I couldn't put up much protest anyway. But even that left hand was pressed down. But even that left hand was pressed down by his rough palms until it hurt, robbing it of the freedom even to tremble. They had no hesitation. It was made very clear to me how merciless people could be. Robbed of my vision, all I could do was clench my teeth against the pain assailing me. If there was anything I was thankful for, it was that he was well practiced and had ripped off both of my fingernails cleanly. Pain and screaming might induce narcotic chemicals in the brain. While screaming, I started losing consciousness. Well, that was certainly a scene. Oh my.
It was a reasonable scene.
Yeah, I think that was pretty reasonable, all things considered. I mean, it was only 3 fingernails, if you really think about it. Alright, so, Sonozaki culprit theory is looking pretty good right now, I gotta say. I woke up. My memories were missing. I couldn't remember how I got back to my room. I held my head with both hands. My left hand was bandaged. The fingers that had their nails removed had swollen like hot dogs. I'd paid with those 3 fingernails for what I did. The hag had said something after the punishment, but I didn't remember any of it. I was taken to a hospital in Okinomiya. The car shook on the way, adding extra pain on top of what I already felt. Somebody gave me some aspirin. They worked just like they said on TV. But they didn't last more than 10 minutes. I swallowed the pills without water.
That's the real pain right there.
Yeah, that sounds really unpleasant. She's on a car ride, she's just got her fingernails ripped off, they're swelling, car's fucking bumping around, and then she has to fucking take aspirin with no water? Jesus Christ.
I feel like the fingernail removal was easier than aspirin.
Well, I mean, by that point, the fingernails are already gone. So, I don't imagine the pain is that devastating by that point. Especially since The guy apparently did it pretty cleanly, but Jesus. Anyway, while I was spacing out in the waiting lounge, Kasai showed up. He probably came to check if I was alright. I obviously wasn't. He must have understood that from my bandaged left arm dangling from my shoulder. Kasai, on the other hand, looked just fine. At least on the outside. I was relieved that my sacrifice had meant something. Kasai didn't say anything. I couldn't tell if he wanted to tell me something or not, because he looked so emotionless. Kasai? I believe,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
He paused shortly before answering. I could tell he was upset. I
His
didn't-
Sprite,
Hmm?
maybe. Is that
I
on
thi-
his Sprite?
I think so. I don't think he's frowned before.
He's a very happy guy.
I didn't regret revealing my true identity in order to protect Sadashi-kun, but I hadn't wanted Kasai or Uncle Yoshiro to be hurt. I had been contradicting myself. Do you know how Uncle Yoshiro is doing?
No.
Alright, I'm gonna take a break after this chapter to get food. Once this scene wraps up, I guess.
I'm sure he's alright because he's strong. Even so, you should apologize to him.
Okay.
Nailing the Seagal voice.
I wanted to ask him about Sadashi-kun, too. I wondered if he was captured or harassed by the Sonozaki family because of me. But I was hesitant to ask Kasai. After all, I'd chosen Sadashi-kun over them. Was Sadashi-kun alright? I hoped he wouldn't get caught or incarcerated somewhere. I paid the hospital bill, and Kasai gave me a ride home. I finally realized that somebody was knocking on my door.
Shion-san, it's not healthy to sleep so much.
It was Kasai. He put some side dishes on the table, and we started nibbling at them. Okay, I think that's a good cue to get food. Be right back.
He's gonna make an entire beef Wellington.
Again?
Yeah, again.
He's doing this every Friday.
He's got a taste for British food.
Just like everyone else.
Who hasn't had a good tin of jellied eels, you know?
Yummy.
Most universally loved food.
Jellied eels.
Beans on toast and jellied eels. The ideal breakfast.
Wow. Those Higurashi do be crying. Why are they inside of Shion's apartment?
Hmm?
I think she's like harvesting them or something. Just like cultivating them.
She's going to be the ultimate Higurashi class bean.
Can't believe it.
This. You think it's gonna turn out that Ronald Reagan was the culprit?
Yeah, just like in Vogue.
Just like in book.
Put Karak to sleep. Oh, who's this echoing again?
Echo.
Echo.
I got jump scared by the fucking Vor ASMR if I haven't posted in the chat. It's still there.
Too bad you're the one that put it there.
I know, I did. YouTube put it in my feed to celebrate us doing Higurashi last week.
Furry ASMR roaring prey because I'm gay does remind me of.
Alright. Hello.
Doesn't remind me of anything. We weren't. Yeah, but
Yeah, we weren't talking about anything. Don't check the VOD.
Okay, I won't.
it's okay. No one checks the WAD anyway.
No one does.
Actually, the most recent VOD I uploaded is our most viewed one by far, I think. Well, not by far, I think the first ones. But, like, recently.
Why?
I have 14 subscribers, so apparently somebody's watching them. Yeah, it has 33 views, apparently.
Wow.
Anyway.
We're popular.
Yeah, we're super popular. It's crazy. Anywho. He put some side dishes on the table, and we started nibbling at them.
How do you feel?
Depressed.
Have you been resting? Have you been eating?
I've been eating the stuff left in the fridge. Otherwise, I've been either sleeping or staring at the ceiling. That sounds like a really healthy mindset. It had been 3 days. I've just been lying down since then. I woke up every now and then in my shallow sleep, but I didn't feel like getting up or thinking. I felt like I'd just been floating the whole time. My appetite was gone, but it came back with the smell of the food Kasai brought. I wasn't able to think of anything to talk to Kasai about, so I just ate silently.
I got a call from Mion-san yesterday. She was saying she called you a few times, never got through.
The moment I heard Mayon's name, I felt my wounds throb. But I didn't stop Kasai, who continued.
Because you paid up, the family decided to close the matter. You will officially withdraw from the academy and transfer to a school in Okinomiya.
They're finally acknowledging my right to make my own decisions, huh?
Indeed. They said you could live as yourself now, under a few conditions. You will stay away from Hinamizawa, you won't pretend to be Mion Sonozaki, you won't shop in public spaces, and so on. This means...
In exchange for acknowledging me, they don't want me to hang around.
That's correct. Of course, it is only temporary until things cool down. There is no set duration, but I think you should stay inconspicuous at least until the end of the year.
It'd be good enough to just live in Okinomiya quietly, the way it was before. Kasai put on a sad smile. I smiled back at him likewise. Before the conversation ended, I should ask him what I wanted to know. How's Sadashi-kun doing? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
He's a smug.
I wish that Kasai would assure me of his safety right away, but he didn't answer like that. Kasai? Is he alright?
Shion-san.
He graduated.
He graduated.
No!
Transferred.
Yeah, he transferred to a different school. In the afterlife.
Oh,
Kasai put his chopsticks down.
the family wants you to forget about him.
What?
Shion-san, I don't want to get in an argument with you, so we'll not get into the details. I'm only relaying what the family wants.
What are you talking about? What details, Kasai? Kasai pretended as though he didn't hear me and started eating again, in typical Slegalian fashion. I'd never seen him get so stubborn like this. The Sonozaki family has been using the Hojo family as a scapegoat. They must have concluded that a Sonozaki shouldn't be in love with a Hojo. I didn't like that. Sadako is a friend of Mion's at school. Oops. Would it be okay if Satoshi-kun and I were the same gender? I think that would make it less okay in Japan, but... Anyway. If I did something conspicuous again, they might do something to him for real. It's like they forced me to remove my own fingernails. The Sonozaki family wouldn't hesitate. They'd torture him if need be. Maybe, if I really loved him, I should stay away. Satoshi-kun won't show up in Okinomiya unless he rejoins the Hinamizawa fighters. I'd have to pretend to be Mion if I wanted to go to Hinamizawa, but I didn't think she'd cooperate with me. Even if she did, it'd be sometime down the road. Even if they told me not to see him, I already had no means of doing that again. Oh, wait. Mion gave me his number a little while ago. I could call him. Bad idea, Girly Pop. And maybe ask to meet with him secretly. That's not happening, Girly Pop. But if I got caught again, they wouldn't cut me any slack. Should I risk it? What the hell did I even want from Satoshi-kun? Kasai, can I be alone for a moment? Kasai started putting his food away in a rush, assuming that I wanted him to leave. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Take your time and finish your food. I just want to take a walk.
Can't lock this place up if I don't step out with you.
Kasai quickly put away his meal and followed me out. Just to be clear, I'm not going out to see Satoshi-kun, alright?
I see. I hadn't been thinking that before, but now that you mentioned it, that is kind of suspicious.
I turned around and started walking. My destination was rather pathetic. It was the toy store that sold that giant teddy bear. I couldn't deny that I was somewhat expecting Satoshi-kun to pass by there. I couldn't stop myself from looking at the faces of the passerby who resembled him. I looked into the store's window. The teddy bear was gone. Congrats, Satoshi-kun. Looks like you were able to buy it. I just connected a dot in my brain!
And what's that dot?
Oh
Explain.
my god. Satoshi was
Drop the
buying a
story.
very expensive, very large teddy bear, right?
Yes.
So, do you remember the shooting gallery game? Where the big prize that was won was a very large teddy bear.
Vaguely.
Yes.
I think
I
the
kind of-
Sonozakis bought it.
There could be multiple.
I mean, there's only one in the window, and he had to reserve it, so
Something about it
presumably
like
this is the one.
had them as different scales in my mind, but I mean they could be the same.
They
I mean,
they
I don't
also
think big
did
teddy
mention.
bears. I don't think big teddy bear is that unique of a thing.
I imagine that one in a shooting gallery would have necessarily have to
Okay.
be smaller than one in a big ass window.
Okay, but it was big enough for Rena to like. It was very big. They do you not remember? They say giant stuffed animal, so presumably it's quite big, like the one in the window. Anyway, my point is, earlier in this chapter, Oryou was talking about how they shouldn't be stingy with the What was it again? Something about the festival.
Right, the door prizes, the raffle.
So it's
Yeah.
quite possible that they bought this teddy bear for that purpose.
But
That would have
it
happened
was-
like years later, like a year.
but
Years
also,
later,
but
this is
that-
1 year before.
But this is right after the festival, like where you went to buy the teddy bear. So then they had that for a year, I guess. If that's the case.
They buy it a
You did-
year in advance.
I mean, they might have also been doing it to fuck over Satoshi, possibly. But I think
Would they?
it's
Would they
pretty
even know?
likely. I mean, have you seen the Sonozakis? I'm pretty sure they know. Also, like,
I like how
Neon
hilariously
Zone?
petty that makes it as well.
Like,
They're like,
if-
fuck you,
if
we're
his
buying your
class-
teddy bear.
if his classmates know what he is up to, I guarantee you Oryou knows what he's up to. Anyway, there was nobody left to hurt him. He was free from his tiresome efforts. Anyway, that's where I think this is gonna go. I think he's not free from his tiresome efforts at all. I think he got fucked over at the last second. He was
I
completely
think
free from
Tomita-kun
pain.
is like a secretly in contact with Oryou.
Ah. That's
They're
not
gonna
what I
lock
meant.
that in the-
That's
in the
clearly
big
not
thing.
what I meant, but okay.
He said if his classmates know, Oryou surely does. So like,
Yeah, because his classmates talk, so clearly everyone
so
knows.
Oryou, fucking Tomita-kun is an informant for Oryou. That's his whole purpose. He's not even a kid. He's half an adult in a trench coat.
And Okamura-kun, by
That's why they're always
Because
together
he's, like,
because of the two
chubby.
halves.
he's an informant
Yeah.
for Steven Seagal.
No. Anyway,
They're always together.
over time, he'd retrieve his smile, and he'd go back to being the Satoshi-kun I love. But I wouldn't be there with him. I heard a car honking. I didn't think it was honking at me at first, but it was so persistent that I had to look up. The person waving at me from that car was Irie. He was waving at me all carefree, oblivious to my feelings.
Sonozaki-san! Long time no see. Oh, are you meeting up with Hojo-san?
No, I'm not.
I know he looks into that store's windows all the time. So I assumed you were expecting him here or something.
No, I'm just passing by. Looks like he was able to buy that teddy bear. Irie seemed to know about the teddy bear as well. Okay, so, in case there was any doubt, yes, the
Wait, what teddy bear?
Sonozakis know about the fucking teddy bear.
Everyone
What?
knows about his teddy bear.
Who? A teddy bear? What?
Wait, isn't a Sonozaki?
He goes to the fucking meeting.
Irie's an informant for Tomita-kun.
Yes. If that's what gets you to understand, then yes. He is Tomita-kun's informant's informant. Anyway.
He's directly connected to Satoshi. I don't think it's that much of a stretch for him to know.
It's not. I'm just saying. Like if you're saying, oh, the kids, yeah, that the kids wouldn't tell him. Well, I mean, this guy would. Anyway,
Yesterday was Sadako-chan's birthday. He must have celebrated it with that teddy bear.
He doesn't have to work so hard anymore, huh?
Indeed.
Did he turn in his resignation to the Hinamizawa fighters?
Oh, does that even exist? I never received one. Did you, Sonozaki-san?
No, I didn't.
So, that means he still belongs to the team. I think he'll be back after things have settled down.
He's in the group.
But I know he'll be sad if he doesn't see you there.
Irie teased me. He's a grown-up after all. He must have been trying to sound optimistic because he knew I was feeling a bit down.
You can come back to the team anytime you want.
Sorry.
It might as well be empty without you. I'm thinking of providing you with a maid costume once you come back.
His favorite.
I burst into laughter. Irie sure hadn't changed. Oh, I almost forgot. I can tell you my name now. Sorry, Coach. I was lying about my identity. I'm not Mion. I'm her twin sister, Shion. I've been pretending to be her for a few reasons.
What? You're Mion-san's twin sister?
He was totally taken aback. I burst into laughter again. Yes, I am Shion Sonozaki. I'm forced to live quietly because my grandmother hates me, though.
I never realized that Mion-san had a twin sister.
Get out of here! Get out! Get out!
He's here! It's the guy!
He said his name 3 times.
Same here.
Suddenly, a loud voice interrupted us. The voice sounded mean and greasy, unlike Irie's. It was him. Oishi.
It's him.
It's him!
Hello, Dr. Urie. Thank you for your cooperation last night.
Don't mention it. I wasn't of much help.
They were just going through the motions. It was obvious that they hated each other. Irie whispered to me.
I fucking hate this guy.
I'm leaving now. Do you want to get in my car? I can drive you home.
Yes, get in the stranger's car! Get in! Irie figured that Oishi was after me, so it was giving me a chance to slip away. Looking at Oishi's face, it was clear that his focus was on me, not Irie. He probably intended to interrogate me until my testimony broke. I was sure I could talk my way out of it, but it'd just be a waste of time. Alright, Coach. Let's get going.
Wait, Shion-san, do you want to get in my car instead? It has air conditioning. Oh, are you two going somewhere together?
Going somewhere together without air conditioning?
Yes. We're on our way to get some stuff done. We're on our way to get some stuff for the team. We have to drop by a few places, so will you excuse us?
Irie bowed. I followed suit. I had to admire how good he was at lying. He's a grown-up, after all. Oishi seemed to know it was a lie. But he didn't have a warrant, so he couldn't stop us. I moved to get into Irie's car.
How are your wounds, Shion Sonozaki-san?
I gasped when I heard that. My left hand was bandaged. It was unsightly, so I'd kept it in my pocket. There was no way Oishi could have been able to see it.
Oh, with no problems if they don't get infected. I tore my fingernails off a couple of times myself when I was a kid. But look, they look beautiful now, don't they?
Oishi, please leave immediately. You gotta do the... There you go. Men's fingernails shouldn't look beautiful. That gives me the creeps. Uishi scratched his head and chuckled. He's supposed to be one of the best cops at the Okinomiya PD, and he knows all about the underground activities in the region. He must have heard about my payment from somewhere. Still, that happened in the secret basement of the Sonozaki main house. I couldn't underestimate this guy's sources. Sorry. Thank you for your kind words. We'll be going now. Excuse us.
Gee, Sonozaki-san. Why don't we get coffee together sometime?
What? Are you hitting on me?
If you like.
Oh no.
Sorry, time flies. I can't waste any of that precious time on things that don't interest me.
Ah, you got me there. How about this then? You can leave any time if you get bored of talking to me. I won't stop you. How does that sound?
I don't mind you talking, but I won't talk back. I doubt you could call it a conversation.
Yeah, that'd be fine. You can just listen and I'll talk. You can just listen to an old man ramble while sipping on a cup of coffee.
He was being strangely persistent. It didn't look like he was trying to poke a hole in my statement. What would he even talk about? I got a bit curious, even though I was still skeptical. Coach, I think I'll go with the old man instead.
Yeah, I mean, Shion-san.
I winked at him and told him not to worry. Irie didn't insist. He got in his car and drove off. Uishi backed his car up so I could get in. I hopped in the back seat since I didn't want to sit next to him.
It's air conditioned in the back as well.
Are we really going to a cafe?
If you could direct me to one with no connection to your family, that'd be great.
Why don't you just take me to the station then? Uishi carefully checked for oncoming traffic, then started driving. Uishi took me to the police station, as I thought he might. If he had taken me to a nice cafe, he would have scored some points. But whatever.
I thought it'd be more convenient if we came here. You can still go home if you get bored.
Huh. Try your best not to bore me then. Do you want me to go into the station hand in hand with you? Uishi chuckled and got out of the car. He escorted me inside the station. I thought he'd take me to an interrogation room, but instead he took me to the office of the investigation division. Officers in both suits and uniforms were working at their desks, answering phones. There was a desk with a plate that said section manager, and nearby there were couches and a table. Uishi told me to sit on the couch, and started making some instant coffee. I had never been to this part of the police station. I looked around in curiosity.
Did you think I'd take you to an interrogation room?
Kinda, yeah. Uishi brought over a tray with coffee cups on it. You're treating me better than I expected. I thought you'd whip me or something.
My tastes don't run that way.
Okay, so he may be a pedophile, but at least he's not a sadist.
He's greasier than usual right now.
So? I thought you wanted to talk.
Alright, I'll cut to the chase. Are you in love with Satoshi Hojo-san?
What? It's getting boring already. I'm going home.
Okay, please forget that.
Uishi must have known why I had to remove my fingernails. He wasn't trying to confirm that I liked Satoshi-kun. What he was really saying was that he knew already. I already talked to Detective Kumagai about Satoshi-kun's alibi that day.
Of course, I read Kumagai-kun's report. I know you were with him.
I'll just repeat the same statement no matter how many times you ask. I don't think you can poke holes in it.
Nah, that is not what I want. You're a smart person. I know that wouldn't work on you.
You're smart. You could never be manipulated by a police officer. You're so smart.
Well,
Did I mention that you're really smart, Shion-san? Or should I say Shion-sama? I wonder what you're after. You're wasting your time if you want information on Satoshi-kun. There's nothing more to talk about. This is boring me after all. I'm going home, since that was our agreement. Excuse me. I got up off the couch.
Shion-san, I didn't want to get Satoshi-san's alibi from you. I admit it.
That's it then. It's boring. I'm going home. I turned around and started walking. Oishi didn't get anxious, but instead spoke a little louder.
But Shion-san, what I want to ask you is his alibi for yesterday, not the day of the murder.
His alibi for yesterday? Why? What does that have to do with his aunt's death?
It's because Satoshi-kun has been missing since then.
What?
Didn't you know that he went missing?
I couldn't say anything, but my expression answered Oishi's question anyway. What's going on? Missing? What?
Why don't you take a seat?
What do you mean Satoshi-kun has gone missing? What the hell?
We only know one thing for sure. He withdrew all of his savings at an ATM in the Okinomiya post office before 3 p.m. yesterday. We don't know his whereabouts after that.
I knew why he withdrew that money. He wanted to buy Sadako's birthday present. Yes, he definitely bought that teddy bear yesterday.
This is just my guess, but I think he skipped town with that money.
You mean he used the money to run away? That's stupid. He was saving to buy Sadako a birthday present. He bought a big, expensive teddy bear from that toy store. He'd never use that money to skip town. Never to say never! Sorry.
Yeah, the most expensive teddy bear in that toy store was sold. But we can't confirm that it was Satoshi-kun who brought it.
Why don't you ask the clerk? Satoshi-kun and I reserved that teddy bear together. Oh. I had a bad feeling. That old man who was watching that store was sleeping when we were there. He looked very senile. Maybe he was also watching that store on that day, and even though Satoshi-kun bought the teddy bear, he didn't remember. Uishi put on a wry smile. It looked like he'd already tried to question that old man. Anyway, it's Satoshi-kun who bought that teddy bear. He must have saved just enough to buy it, so he shouldn't have been able to run away after. That's nonsense.
Alright, let's say he really did buy the teddy bear. Then why didn't he come home with it?
At that point, I felt as though my heart had turned to ice. Satoshi-kun had been working hard to buy that teddy bear, even though he was under extreme mental and physical stress. After that, he finally managed to buy it. It's unthinkable that somebody else just showed up and bought the same teddy bear. Is it though? That teddy bear was gone because Satoshi-kun bought it. Nobody else. But if so, Satoshi-kun should have given it to Sadako. Okay, so I know it's answer mark, so it's pretty much too late to do theories, but I'm gonna lock in right now, I'm gonna say Oryou probably bought the teddy bear and Satoshi ran away. Anyway. But
Probably.
though he bought a present for her,
No, they locked him in the basement.
he didn't come home. To be honest, I don't know how I didn't make the teddy bear connection until just now. They do it in, like... It's mentioned in at least Chapter 1 and Chapter 3, I think. He didn't come home? That wasn't possible. He would have gone straight home with that teddy bear. He wouldn't think of running away after buying the teddy bear. Even though Satoshi-kun wanted to run away from the police, he'd never leave without giving Sadako her present. Anyway, it must have been Satoshi-kun who bought that teddy bear. I can say that with 100% certainty. The question was, why didn't he bring it home? That teddy bear was huge. It wouldn't fit into the basket of a bicycle. He might have brought some straps to tie it to his bike. He wouldn't have thought of running away on a wobbly bicycle like that. He necessarily had to go home after buying the teddy bear from the store after withdrawing the money. Nothing could have happened when he was going between the ATM and the toy store. It was impossible. Nobody else could possibly have bought that teddy bear. Never. That teddy bear had been sitting in the showcase up until that day. Everybody could see it when they passed by. But nobody wanted it. It's impossible that it could have been somebody else. There should be no question that he went to the toy store after he withdrew the money. What about the route between the toy store and his home?
Shion going through the stages of grief.
There shouldn't be
Very
any
slow.
question there either. Well, either she's going through the stages of grief or she's actually detectiving better than me. We'll see which one it is. He shouldn't have been able to do anything with that huge toy. He shouldn't have even thought of making a stop on the way. So he must have headed home. Right after he bought the teddy bear. But nobody saw him after that. It was simple then. Satoshi-kun went missing on his way home from the toy store. He went missing? What did that mean? I was sure he killed his aunt. He's not that shrewd. Maybe he couldn't bear the pressure from the police? Was he resigned to the idea that the police were going to arrest him soon, regardless of my help? Did he decide to run away? Did he think he should disappear until things cooled down, rather than get arrested? That was definitely, absolutely impossible. It was impossible that he came to the conclusion on his way home from the toy store. Even if he did, he would have waited until he gave Sadako her birthday present. Satoshi-kun loved Sadako. You shouldn't have spoiled her like that, but anyway, he always tried to be a good brother to her. So he'd never disappear before going home. I felt as though the ice was cutting through my heart and expanding the frost. If Satoshi-kun didn't disappear by his own will, the answer was simple. Satoshi-kun disappeared by somebody else's will. Was Satoshi-kun eliminated? That's really stupid, old man. I thought I could shake off the frost in my heart if I laughed loudly enough. I kept laughing until it happened. I kept laughing and laughing. All the cops in the room stared at me. They thought I'd gone crazy.
Dion starts posting Joker memes.
On the joke.
Gamers rise up.
I didn't care what they thought. I kept laughing until it turned into a cough. Oh wait, sorry. Okay. Just pretend I did it there. I finished laughing and took a sip of lukewarm coffee. I felt as though the frost in my heart had spread all throughout my guts. I was chilled to the bone. I was freezing. My fingers shook as I held the coffee cup.
Shion-san, please listen to me without interrupting. What I'm about to tell you is only a hypothesis. It's just a theory. You might start laughing in the middle, because it may sound ridiculous. But I want you to hear me out. Can you do that?
Whatever. Just talk. I was feeling far too cold. My teeth were chattering. I felt as though my brain had frozen as well. I'd lost my ability to think. I couldn't do anything by myself. I could only do as Oryou told me. What he was going to tell me might be the worst possible theory, but I had to listen to it. Oops.
I know that Satoshi-kun's and Sadako-san's aunt was abusing them, especially Sadako-san. In my opinion, it's normal that Satoshi-kun started thinking about murdering his aunt, because he was just a human being.
I had to deny that Satoshi-kun murdered her, but what Oryou was saying was true. I couldn't deny his hypothesis right away. I just kept silent.
This is only a hypothesis, alright? Please don't be upset. No interruptions, agreed?
I know! Just go on!
Satoshi Hojo planned the murder of his aunt and executed it. You have no proof, okay? It's all theoretical.
Alright, I heard. Just keep talking.
I'll switch the subject now. Shion-san, you were forbidden from having a relationship with Satoshi-kun, weren't you? I told you to stay away from him, correct? I believe the reason behind that is not that your family hated the Hojos, but they didn't like the fact that you were involved with the murder suspect.
That is actually possible. After all, when I was pretending to be Mion, I already had a connection with Satoshi-kun. Before anyone knew it was Shion who was spending time around him. I could have been accused when I was helping out the Hinamizawa fighters if the relationship between the Hojos and the Sonozakis was the problem. It wouldn't be difficult for the Sonozaki family to know that Satoshi-kun murdered his aunt if it happened in Hinamizawa. Maybe one of them even saw the murder. The Sonozaki family didn't like that I was in love with a murderer. They decided to step in.
Also, you're known to not give up easily, aren't you? Which means even if the Sonozaki family threatened you or ripped off your nails, you still wouldn't cut ties with Satoshi-kun, would you?
I couldn't deny that. I lost most of my means of access to Hinamizawa, so my ties to Satoshi-kun were essentially cut, true. But I still knew Satoshi-kun's phone number, and I expected him to rejoin the Hinamizawa fighters eventually.
I believe your family knew a few threats would never be enough for you to break ties with Satoshi-kun. They could threaten you all they like to no avail. So, their only option would be to do something about the other person, wouldn't it?
What do you mean, do something? What would they do? What? What? If threatening me was useless, then they'd do something about Satoshi-kun. What would they have done? If they pulled something, then wouldn't that interrupt his path from the toy store to home? Toy store to home. Toy store to X to home. What's X? What is X? X marks the spot where his path was interrupted. But what interrupted it? Why couldn't Satoshi-kun make it home from the toy store if something interrupted him? Why? What's X? X! What was that thing Battler always said? Unknown trap X or something? I ran out of air, became dizzy, and then collapsed. The floor felt cold. I felt no pain. I had fallen to the floor like a plastic doll. Oryou and some others rushed over to me and helped me up.
Calm down, Shion-san. We're not certain that Satoshi-kun was killed yet.
You're not certain he was killed? What the fuck are you talking about? Don't you know about that torture room where they forced me to rip off my fingernails? Don't you know that they say there are prison cells and a well for disposing of corpses in the back? If the Sonozaki family wants to eliminate somebody, they definitely kill them in that torture room and dump the body down there. You're not certain? Are you dumb? Is your brain made of tofu? If I were in the hag's position, I'd kill him for sure. I wouldn't let him get away. If I would kill him, then the hag would definitely kill him.
Shion-san, please calm down. This is unconfirmed, but I have information that somebody witnessed a young runaway male at Nagoya Station. We took a train from there to Tokyo. The clothes didn't match, but it is possible that he changed what he was wearing to hide from the police. It's still possible that it was him.
Is he alive? Is he?
This is also a theory, but let me go on. Your twin sister Mion-san is the closest person to Oryou Sonozaki, correct? I'm assuming that Mion-san stopped Oryou when she suggested murdering Satoshi-kun furtively.
Mion? That was possible. She could have tried to calm things down out of pity for me. That idiot was always so indecisive. She should have been clear on if she wanted to save him or not. But she probably seemed vague about that. She must have persuaded the hag to reduce the punishment to banishment instead of death, just to avoid feeling guilty.
I believe that the Sonozaki family contacted Satoshi-kun. They probably told him that they couldn't cover up the murder and told him to disappear somewhere far away. They forced him to be more accurate.
Satoshi-kun would have rejected that. He would never leave Sadako behind.
Family knew that he had enough money for a getaway.
Most of that didn't come through, by the way.
Huh?
Most of that line did not.
I
come
agree with you. Satoshi-kun was working at the places Mion-san referred him to, wasn't he? So the family knew that he had enough money for a getaway.
But he never used it for anything other than buying that teddy bear.
You're right. Must have gone straight to the toy store after buying that teddy bear.
Right after he withdrew the money.
He withdrew the money, yeah. But what if the teddy bear was already sold when he got there?
That would have been a very desolate situation. He'd been working hard. While his aunt abused him, he worked at many different jobs. The money was worth all that pain. He went to the toy store with that money in order to buy his beloved sister a present. That was the only purpose for that money. He must have looked for the teddy bear as he'd always done. But it was gone. He wouldn't have gone into a panic right away, because he was always so optimistic. He might have thought the store was wrapping the gift for him, because he told him that he'd pick it up that day. He must have gone into the store joyously. I couldn't guess exactly what happened next. My heart would tear up if I tried to imagine it anyway. Why didn't they have it, even though he had it reserved? Did that old man understand the situation, or was he just zoning out? Maybe it would have been the same, even if it wasn't that old man who was at that store at the time. If a bunch of fierce-looking subordinates from the Sonozaki family went in and showed them the money, nobody could have rejected it. Satoshi-kun must have sunk into silence. No matter how hard he complained, the teddy bear was gone. He probably never even considered that his dream might be taken away. He must have been wobbling his way home in sorrow, leaning on telephone poles every now and then. It was the day he wanted Sadako to be happy the most. He couldn't get the present she wanted the most. He probably didn't think of getting another gift, because it was unimaginable that he couldn't get that teddy bear. He might have imagined how Sadako would react when she found out he had no present for her. He must have looked unbelievably sad and empty. The money he'd been saving meant nothing anymore. Satoshi-kun never cried, even at his toughest moments. Did he even know how to cry? It was always Sadako who was crying. So, Satoshi-kun never learned how to cry, and he grew up that way.
A lot of assumptions she's making about this person she's known for.
Well, she imagined
A
it,
handful
so it's
of
real.
days.
She imagined it.
As
It's
we
okay.
learn, yeah.
Did you know? People shed sadness from their hearts with tears. Satoshi-kun wasn't even allowed to do that. Even though his heart was filled with sorrow, he couldn't let it out.
You insisted he wouldn't leave Sadako-san behind, didn't you? But think, what if the Sonozaki family told him that they'd look after her after his disappearance?
After Satoshi-kun found out the teddy bear was gone, all he had left were some crumpled bills. The family told him it was just a matter of time before the police got to him. They told him to run away. They said they'd take care of Sadako. Satoshi-kun didn't feel like seeing his sister. He wandered and found himself at Okinomiya Station. He must have been apologizing to Sadako so many times in his mind. He swore to come back someday. He headed to Nagoya, then to Tokyo. But that meant he's alive. He's alive. I should be able to see him again someday. He must be coming back, so I'll definitely see him again.
I assume that the Sonozaki family must have set some place for him to stay. Satoshi-kun must have gone there.
So, he's safe. He's coming back someday, right? Oishi looked up at the ceiling and stretched. He didn't answer me.
Nah, probably not.
On June 24th, 1982, Satoshi Hojo went missing. There is a possibility that he ran away, as he was the prime suspect of the murder that happened on the 20th the same month. Allegedly, someone resembling him was seen at Nagoya Station embarking on a train heading to Tokyo, but the truth is unknown. No one has seen him since. How many achievements do we have left? This feels like a very long chapter. We don't even have half of them? Oh my
Are we
god!
only on session 3? Or are we
Yeah.
on session 4?
This
We're on,
is
we're on 3.
number 3.
Just feel like we haven't gotten an achievement in a while, and I was right, we haven't. The last achievement we got was for covering for Satoshi's murder. Anyway, as a matter of fact, no one even knows if he's still alive.
We're in the Higurashi 100% achievement speedrun category right now, for real.
Yeah, so true. I mean, it's just achievements for progressing, so I was curious how far in we were. But, let's see, how many achievements are there left? 10.
New achievement.
Never
Get your
mind.
nails removed.
Train to nowhere. Had a dear friend go missing.
Dear friend.
Notebook, page 34. So this is shortly after 29, I guess. The information that Satoshi-kun might have headed to Tokyo hasn't been verified. It started as follows. A young man came to the lost and found window, looking for his wallet. The station employee asked him to write down his name on the form. Then the young man started writing Hojo as his name, but he stopped in the middle, crumpled the form, and wrote a totally different name on another form. Another station employee witnessed a similar-looking young man rushing into the train heading into that. Another station employee witnessed a similar-looking young man rushing into that train headed to Tokyo. The employee from the Lost and Found, and the employee who was on the platform, talked about the suspicious young man in the locker room. That was all. The wallet of the man named Hojo was never reported to the Lost and Found office. Notebook, page 42.
The like dramatic music stinger that just got cut off by it ending so quickly.
Yeah. At first I thought Owishi's theory that the Sonozaki family banished Sadashi-kun from Hinamizawa and looked after Sadako in return was bogus. But thinking about it now, it doesn't seem too far-fetched. After all, Sadako Hojo started living with Rika Furude after Sadashi-kun's disappearance. Rika Furude isn't just a regular girl. She was the head of the Furude family, one of the 3 families. The head of the Kimiyoshi family is Rika Furude's guardian. The Sonozaki family probably couldn't step in due to having been officially opposed to the Hojo family, but Sadako Hojo is in the custody of the 3 families now. Even though the Hojo family was severely ostracized during the dam conflict, Sadako Hojo was now under protection. It seems as though only Sadako was exempted from blame. Why was she spared even though Sadashi-kun wasn't? I do quite enjoy the amount of venom she has when talking about Sadako, because she's like 5. She's like a fucking 8-year-old, right? At this point?
Something like
And
that.
she's so fucking angry at her.
Most
She's
people
so
hold grudges
pissed
against
off.
8-year-olds.
She's
you ever
so
met
pissed off.
any- Ever met one?
Yes, they're awful, but I don't know that I would start beating one with chairs and shit and textbooks. Anyway.
No chairs available?
Yeah, I prefer my stun gun. Eh? What did you just say?
This is information from a reliable source. It believes that they found the murderer of Sadashi-kun's aunt.
It had been a few weeks since the murder. Sadashi-kun still hadn't been found. I had no new information on his whereabouts. Kasai's report came, as a result, completely out of the blue.
Why does Mr. Seagal have the Disco Elysium necktie?
Why does his hair, like, do that on the right side?
Why not?
I don't know, it's just an interesting choice.
It's a secret comb over on the bald spot on the back of his head.
Oh, I got it.
If you peel it, it reveals an afro underneath.
Ah, okay. Does that mean the police arrested the culprit?
Seems to have confessed during his interrogation regarding another case.
That sounded strange. If it was Sadashi-kun they arrested, he wouldn't have worded it that way. It sounded as though Sadashi-kun wasn't the culprit. Kasai, who's the culprit? So it wasn't Sadashi-kun? I swallowed those final words. I was convinced that it was Sadashi-kun. The police and Oishi must have thought the same way. The reason Oishi approached me is because he was convinced that Sadashi-kun did it.
Yo, man. It doesn't seem like it's Sadashi-kun.
I heard... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I heard it was a lunatic who was aiming to continue the series of mysterious deaths.
What? A lunatic? What do you mean? Kasai shrugged.
No. Because the investigation is classified as a confidential case, the information I can get is limited.
Confidential? Why?
To prevent the village from developing a bad reputation. You don't see articles about kidnapping while the police are negotiating with the culprit, do you? It's something similar to that.
Come to think of it, I hadn't seen anything about the aunt's murder on TV or in the newspaper because it wasn't reported in the newspaper. These strange deaths have
These
happened
strange deaths
for...
have happened.
Sorry.
4 years in a row now, on the day of Watanagashi. There are those who try to make light of it. And now this lunatic who's confessed the aunt's murder said it in imitation of the series of mysterious deaths.
Kasai didn't know anything else, so instead of probing him further, I reviewed the information myself. I was really shocked to learn all this. I was convinced that Sadashi-kun killed her. I thought that was the reason he had to disappear. But it was actually some lunatic who killed her, and he had no relation to the aunt whatsoever. So, Satoshi-kun had nothing to do with the murder? If so, why did he disappear? I couldn't accept that this lunatic had killed the aunt. It was really strange as the phrase Kasai used 4 years in a row now. After all, I've been thinking that this murder happened because Satoshi-kun had been in a dire situation, and had nothing to do with the series of mysterious deaths. Felt as though Satoshi-kun's case had become somebody else's. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa is also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Did you know that Ryuki... Satoshi-kun's case had become one of those mysterious deaths. Did you know that Ryuki... In other words, Satoshi-kun's case has become a part of Oyashiro-sama's curse. Did you know that Ryukishi likes to repeat himself? I didn't like the way that sounded. Because it was as though the curse had swallowed Satoshi-kun. Did you know that Ryukishi...
Vor?
Oh,
You're into that.
It's true. He is.
unfortunately, we haven't been able to confirm the tip that Satoshi-kun took a train to Tokyo. I don't even know whether or not he's in this prefecture, to be honest.
Ueshi broke the seal on a new can of instant coffee. I thought you knew his whereabouts already, since you seemed very convinced he was the culprit.
You got me.
Ueshi chuckled and poured a cup of coffee, which looked far too hot.
You have some good sources.
Huh?
It's a highly classified case, but you already have this information. I wonder who leaked it. Looks like we need to review our security precautions.
Ueshi smirked. Seemed he knew I was here today. I'm one of the Sonozakis, after all, and my ears are open. I smirked back at him. It's all about bluffing.
Anyway, since we're friends now, why don't we have a chat?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Back off, Buster! Let me ask you first. Who's this real culprit? I heard he was a lunatic, but what does that mean?
I don't know how to answer that question. I want to know the answer myself. Really, I was convinced Satoshi-kun was the real culprit. It was rather surprising for me, too.
Ueshi threw himself on the sofa and crossed his hands behind his head. He looked up at the ceiling and smiled wryly.
I suddenly received a call from the prefecture police the other day. They said that one of the guys in detention confessed to the murder of a housewife.
Sorry, I need water because I have hiccups. Who is it?
He's a real piece of work who fell into a drug habit. He's been in and out of prison for drug abuse. His statement says that he was interested in the series of mysterious deaths and wanted to imitate them.
Are you sure he's the real culprit?
I didn't interrogate him myself, but the prefecture police tells me that he has information that only the real culprit would know. He seems to have thrown the murder weapon into the Oji River. They're searching for it right now. If it's found, his statement will be solid.
Even if the weapon wasn't found, would the case be closed?
Probably. His statement clearly outlines the state of the crime scene and the body. This information, like I said, covers details that only the actual murderer would know.
You don't seem quite convinced. Ueshi, still looking up at the ceiling, went quiet.
As a matter of fact, the moron was already dead by the time I got their call.
Dead? You know those... Oh, sorry.
You know how those spoons that are forked at the tip? They use those at a detention facility. I was told that he swallowed one and choked on it. I couldn't tell if it was a suicide or if it was caused by some mental disorder.
I imagine somebody swallowing that spoon I'm gagged.
So the investigation hadn't been done that thoroughly, but although I'm not convinced my superiors are, I think with that, the case will be closed.
Oishi turned his eyes from the ceiling to me. He looked serious.
This is just what I personally feel, okay? So please, keep it between the two of us. I believe that this moron is some kind of mistake.
Well, that's rude.
It might be either a big misunderstanding caused by a chain of coincidences or, you know?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know?
Okay, so I'm gonna say where I think Oishi's going for this. I think he's probably going to suggest that Satoshi did this in some capacity.
I still believe that the real culprit is Satoshi Hojo-kun.
You sound confident.
Unfortunately, we couldn't find anything to prove that he was at the crime scene. We obtained a warrant to search his house after he disappeared, but we still found nothing.
But you still believe he did it.
Yes.
I wonder how you can be so sure even though you don't have any evidence. It's incredible. Is that supposed to be like the hunch of an experienced detective?
Yep. It's the hunch of a guy who's been in this business for several decades.
Oishi smiled in satisfaction, but I didn't feel relieved. Where did Satoshi-kun go?
His disappearance convinced me that he was the culprit. If he wasn't the culprit, there'd be no reason for him to disappear.
What if the murder was actually done by that copycat, and Satoshi-kun's disappearance has nothing to do with it? In other words, what if Satoshi-kun disappeared because the Sonozaki family didn't like my relationship with him, and he has nothing to do with the murder? Was Satoshi-kun a culprit? Or a victim? Also, she said all of that out loud. Every single word of that.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this whole time, she's been like, I was with Satoshi-kun that night. And now she just gave it up. Anyway.
I don't think they'd bother to make one person disappear just because of an undesirable relationship. What do you hear from inside the Sonozaki family? Do you know anything?
I wouldn't be here if I did.
You're right.
Ueshi laughed out loud while scratching his head. And after he stopped laughing, he leaned over.
Alright, how about this? Why don't we make a deal? A gentleman's deal.
A deal? On what?
An information about Satoshi-kun's disappearance. If you find any other information like that, tell me. And I'll also provide you with any information if I find any. We have a deal?
That sounds too convenient for you. Ueshi chuckled.
Shion-san. I think if we leave things as they are, we'll conclude that the moron committed the murder. If that happens, Satoshi-kun's disappearance will be treated as just another runaway minor. I won't search for him as actively as before. But I will continue searching for him. Only I will do it.
I remain.
I believe you're intending to do the same.
Our motives are different, though. I just want to know if he's safe, but you'd like to arrest him, wouldn't you?
If the murder case was considered solved, Satoshi-kun would be free, regardless of his innocence.
I doubt that. Ueshi chuckled again, but his smile didn't reach his eyes.
Well, let's be friends from now on. The enemy of your enemy is your friend, no?
I'm not opposed to the Sonozaki family, though.
Oh, really? I apologize then.
This is the way of Kurado Oishi, huh? As Sisen Kasai said, I wouldn't want him as my enemy or my ally, because both would be too risky. I probably shouldn't let my guard down in front of this big fat weasel.
Hey, what did weasels ever do to you?
I sipped on my
Fat, disgusting old man.
I sipped on the coffee to fill up the silence, though I wasn't thirsty. Outside the window, I could see normal life taking its course. But Sadashi-kun wasn't there. He should have been there, but he wasn't. I was scared that I might grow used to his absence someday. Where was he? I wonder how Sadashi-kun is doing.
I hope he's alright.
I know you think he might be dead. Don't patronize me.
Do you know what people are calling his disappearance in Hinamizawa?
Huh?
Say that he was demoned away.
To be demoned away means the same thing as being spirited away. It's part of the local dialect. He was kidnapped and taken to hell through the bottom of the... He was kidnapped and taken to hell through the bottom of the Onigafuchi swamp? That's ridiculous.
Anyway, the series of mysterious deaths has struck for the 4th time. It's too soon, but people are already talking about next year.
Are you saying that the murder was the result of Oyashiro-sama's curse?
The victim was one of the Hojos, after all. She was involved in your dam conflict, though indirectly. Really, it's not surprising that some people take an interest in the incidents, because they do always happen on the day of Watanagashi.
That's ridiculous, too. Oyashiro-sama's curse? Though I said that, I couldn't quite wipe away the fear from my mind. Why did Sadashi-kun disappear? Was it the Sonozaki family? Did he run away from the police? Did he really kill his aunt in the first place? Why did he even disappear? He's on his own. Oyashiro-sama's curse has nothing to do with it. But... That's strange. Sadashi-kun and Oyashiro-sama's curse. Somebody once mentioned those two together before. Yay, Rena! When did I hear that? Ah, that's right. That rainy day. It was Rena Ryugu who told me that when we were taking shelter in that shack. Ah. I remember the creepy story that she told me at that time.
Toshi-kun wants to leave Hinamizawa and run far away, even if only unconsciously.
That's what Rena Ryugu said. Rena had definitely pointed out that Sadashi-kun wanted to leave Hinamizawa at that time. She also said,
Everything he's going through is a sign of Oyashiro-sama's curse.
She said that, for sure. She had definitely mentioned Oyashiro-sama's curse. A series of mysterious deaths has struck 4 times. Was Sadashi-kun being controlled by the curse? Is that why he killed his aunt and was demoned away? No way. That can't be true. Sadashi-kun's smile faded away in my mind. Sadashi-kun disappeared. Not only that, the reason for his disappearance has also disappeared. It must have been done by human beings. I can't accept that he was demoned away. Notebook, page 43. Community hall. I can very clearly read that. I moved from one chair to another because the air conditioning was too cold. Hey kid, I
This is
have air
like air
conditioning in my
conditioning.
car. Hop in. I moved with my notebook, my pen case with a bunch of keychains, and my cup of milk tea. She's a boba girly. I did it all in one go. Well, I guess she would have been a boba girly if it was popular at this time. I sat down in a new chair, then opened my notebook again. I scribbled my thoughts and sank into silence. The series of mysterious deaths, dubbed the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. I've been viewing each incident as a separate case, even though it was followed by another one. I've never looked at all the cases as part of one big scheme. After I wrote down all the incidents on paper, it became clear to me that all of them served the same agenda. I wrote down the victims. The first year, the construction site manager. The second year, Sadashi-kun's parents. The third year, the priest. The fourth year, Sadashi-kun's aunt. For the fourth year, one could consider Sadashi-kun himself to be the victim, rather than his aunt. If I consider that each case arose from the grudge over the dam conflict, it's quite simple. In the first year, the construction manager was killed because he was a symbol of the dam construction itself. Of course, the real enemy was the Ministry of Construction, but it wasn't as clear a target. The manager, on the other hand, had been aggressively shouting back at the villagers, so he was a more appropriate enemy to attack. If Oyashiro-sama had really cursed someone, it would have been the officials from the ministry. It's apparent that the target was selected based on the villagers' preference. The second year. The accidental death of Sadashi-kun's parents. It's said that they fell from a cliff in some park, but it's doubtful that it was really an accident. His parents were labeled as traitors to the village because they sided with the dam construction, even though they were also from Hinamizawa. The Hojo family was ostracized during the dam conflict in order to prevent further pro-dam activists from rising up. That means that the Hojos were necessary during the conflict to play the role of the traitor. So when the conflict was over, they no longer served any purpose. The construction site manager was a symbol of the external enemy. The Hojos were a symbol of the internal enemy. Those people fell victim to the curse, and it seemed that the grudge over the dam conflict had ended. Yet those incidents were followed by another one. The third year.
Another one.
The leader of one of the three families, the priest Furude, suddenly died of an illness with an unknown cause. His wife drowned herself on the same night. She seemed to have left a note that said that she was sacrificing herself to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger. Whether it was a fatal disease or suicide, their deaths looked suspicious. Mion admitted that the Sonozaki family didn't like the priest's attitude. They didn't like how the priest had been generous toward the pro-dam activists. The priest wasn't quite a traitor, but he was certainly uncooperative. Looking at these incidents, I realized that the curse was performed based on the degree of hostility. Enemy, traitor, and dissident. That meant that the curse was actually payment. It was a punishment for the criminals of war. And the fourth year. I didn't understand this case at first, to be honest. At first I believed this case was separate from the other ones, even though it occurred on the same day. I never thought there would be any relation to the other three. But when I wrote it down and looked at it objectively, the victim is a relative of a traitor. After enemy, traitor, and dissident, relative of a traitor doesn't sound too odd. It comes naturally as a fourth target. On the day the villagers worship Oyashiro-sama, their guardian deity, the criminals of the dam conflict have been punished by the curse. Just like how I was forced to pay at the Sonozaki house, the criminals were made to pay as well. After writing these things out, I'm starting to think that the fourth incident might be in line with the series of mysterious deaths after all. Whether it was Sadashi-kun or the dopehead, it seemed that they were forced to play the role of a murderer as part of a bigger scenario.
Dopehead.
Even if Sadashi-kun was the real culprit, even if he killed his aunt because of an ordinary grudge, The murder seems synchronized with the grand scheme of the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, which is a payment plan for the war criminals. That murder was the result of his pain. But what if somebody planned that as part of a scenario? For instance, somebody might have suggested to him to kill his aunt on that day, that night, at that place. I had no doubts that Satoshi-kun decided to kill her in order to protect Sadako. But did he really reach that conclusion on his own? Satoshi-kun was optimistic and somewhat detached as far as I know. Would he really have considered murdering his aunt, even if it was to protect his sister? Couldn't it be possible for somebody to have chosen his aunt as the fourth year's murder beforehand? And they used Satoshi-kun? And Satoshi-kun was eliminated because of his connection with them? Looking at it that way, the murder of the first year resembles this case. The main culprit behind that case hasn't been found yet, dead or alive. The other culprits testified that their fight had turned into a slaughter. But wouldn't it be possible that the main culprit had manipulated the situation? What if he had been told to kill someone on that day, at that time, and in that place? I'm certain. The first murder resembles Satoshi-kun's very much. So, did that mean that Satoshi-kun was being controlled by somebody else? Ueshi had presented me with a hypothesis that the Sonozaki family made Satoshi-kun disappear in order to end my relationship with a murderer. But when I read the notes I wrote down, his disappearance didn't seem too spontaneous. It seemed like part of a bigger plan. Since I'd unexpectedly gotten involved in that plan, I had to be separated from him. And Satoshi-kun was demoned away, as planned. At first, I also believed that the Sonozaki family made him disappear because they didn't like that I was in love with a member of a family of traitors. But something didn't add up. Something felt strange. I wasn't the reason for his disappearance after all. Even if I never met him in the first place. Satoshi-kun was supposed to kill his aunt in June 1982 and then disappear. I think that makes sense, yeah. At one point, I had been thinking of taking revenge on the hag. I believed that she separated us. But what if my relationship with Satoshi-kun had nothing to do with his disappearance? What would that mean? Who made Satoshi-kun disappear? I need to understand the series of mysterious deaths in order to solve this mystery. What did all of these deaths mean? Who was behind them? What purpose did they serve? I wanted to know the purpose, the motive, and who was responsible. Who took Satoshi-kun? Did you know that Ryukishi really enjoys repeating himself?
He does.
I wanted to know if he was still alive. He also likes ellipses. Did you guys know that?
I heard we did a drinking game about this once. No one survived.
A series of mysterious deaths.
Don't remember ever doing that.
The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa is also called Oyashiro-sama's curse. What is that curse? Specifically, what kind of god is Oyashiro-sama? What blessings does he bring, and what punishments does he dole out? I wrote down my thoughts in the notebook. What's Oyashiro-sama? What is he? I scribbled these things down. I was so absorbed by it that I didn't realize that somebody had been standing behind me, watching me the whole time. I couldn't stop myself from gasping when I realized that. Hey, what's up, lady?
I'm sorry, did I startle you? Hehe.
The intelligent-looking woman giggled. No, I was just a bit surprised. Sorry about that. She could have apologized a little better, too, since she'd been watching me from behind. Well, Takano's here, which means this chapter's finally getting good. Thank God.
Wow, she's gonna die soon.
But she just stared at my face instead. That isn't happening for another year. Get your facts straight.
It'll happen any moment.
Are you Shion Sonozaki-san?
You must know Sis since you know my name, but I don't know who you are. Being twins is a pain sometimes. People you've never met before can tell exactly who you are.
I'm sorry. The Sonozaki-san I know would never be seen in a library, so I assumed that you were her twin sister.
The woman giggled again. Well, you were right. I'm Shion Sonozaki. Nice to meet you. May I ask your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have introduced myself first.
She seemed to love her own hair, because she kept running her fingers through it boastfully.
Respectable. I'm Mio Takano. You can call me Mio, Shion-chan.
Nice to meet you, Takano-san. It sure is. Her condescending attitude bugged me. I hate meeting people like that. I closed my
Her
notebook.
smug aura mocks me.
I closed my notebook and got ready to leave the desk.
Oh, are you upset?
Thank you for your concern. I like to be alone when thinking, so I'm moving to another spot. Excuse me.
That's a shame. I thought we'd be good friends.
Did you? I don't think so.
I finally met someone with the same passion, a fellow researcher of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I think it's quite unusual to meet someone like that.
She saw my notes. My face reddened. These are just theories. It's all nonsense. Just childish scribbles.
A series of mysterious deaths is also known as Oyashiro-sama's curse. Though each death is an independent incident, all of them clearly share the same purpose. Each year, someone dies of a curse, and someone else is sacrificed and disappears.
What? What are you saying all of a sudden? Someone dies and someone else... What? I was taken aback by her weird spiel, but I realized right away that she'd said something extraordinary.
Didn't you notice that the number of victims is always even? Haven't you realized that yet?
The number of victims is always even? I was confused, but I tried to figure out what that meant.
It's divisible by 2.
Yeah. The damn...
Never learned division in school.
I mean, to be fair, she was too busy learning, other things in that school, I suppose. The damn construction site manager died at the first year. There was only one victim. In the second year, the victims were the parents of Sadashi-kun, so it was 2 people. In the third year, it was the priest. And if her death was also planned, his wife, 2 again. And this year, the 4th year, Sadashi-kun's aunt had died, and Sadashi-kun went missing. If Sadashi-kun's disappearance was planned, the number of victims was 2. It's true. Except for the first one, the victims always came in an even number, 2. Wait. I had just concluded myself that the first case resembled the 4th one. The main culprit was still missing. He might have been demoned away, just like Sadashi-kun.
See? Doesn't it make sense now?
Takano-san sounded like a teacher who had showed me how to solve a difficult math problem. I wasn't quite convinced, but I couldn't deny what she'd said either.
Did I give you enough hints? I really would have enjoyed a conversation with you, but I think you prefer being alone. Nerd. Hee hee.
My headcanon is that she actually did say nerd under her breath. Anyway. I'm sorry that I wasn't respectful, Neo-san. Please call me Shion. She seemed content that I had changed my attitude. She kept giggling for a while. She didn't seem that reliable. I didn't want to be acquainted with her for too long. But I don't get to talk to people very much, and what she said interested me.
Let me introduce myself again. I'm Mio Takano. Call me Mio.
Pleased to meet you, Mio-san. I'm Shion Sonozaki, Mion's twin sister. Please call me Shion. I took the hand that Mio-san held out as a sign of reconciliation. Please tell me more. You said that there were always 2 victims? One dies due to the curse, and the other is a sacrifice?
Shion-chan, before we get into that, could you tell me why you became interested in this?
She leaned over and looked into my eyes. It was kind of uncomfortable. Mio-san, how much do you know about me? I guess you have an idea if you know my name.
I don't know much. Just that you recently returned from a boarding school.
I see. So, I think you can imagine that I want to know about the series of mysterious deaths that happened while I was away. I'm just curious.
I see. You're curious, eh?
I got the impression that she knew about what happened to Satoshi-kun and me, because she instantly recognized me as Shion, not Mion. I didn't know why I thought that way, as she shouldn't have access to the sources for instance, Oishi does. It was just the look in her eyes that made me think that way. Let me ask you a question this time. You called me a fellow researcher of Oyashiro-sama's curse, didn't you? So why are you researching the curse? You also stated that there's always an even number of victims in mysterious deaths. It's true that Hinamizawa's mysterious deaths are often called Oyashiro-sama's curse. But why would you delve into the mysterious deaths if you're researching the curse itself?
Shion-chan, you're asking too many questions at once. I can't tell you what you really want to know.
Oh, I couldn't say anything in return. Maybe I'd been too inquisitive.
I'll answer your questions one by one. I'm not just researching a curse, as my subject is much broader than that. I'm researching the history of Onigafuchi Village. In plain terms, I'm researching a dark and ancient history of Hinamizawa.
Onigafuchi Village? Isn't Onigafuchi the bottomless swamp some people believe is connected to hell? And what dark history? I kept asking questions. Mio-san, however, looked pleased to hear them.
Onigafuchi Village is the old name for Hinamizawa, as it was known back before the Meiji era. About the dark history, you know a little bit about the man-eating demons, I assume.
The man-eating demons, huh?
You know, the man.
I mean, we
like
the audience
cadence of
know
that
what
is like,
they're talking about.
the man-eating demons, right?
That was a fairy tale told in Hinamizawa. A long time ago, demons came out of the swamp, and while the villagers battled with them, they ended up living peacefully together. The villagers transcended and became a sacred people, having demon blood in their veins. That long-forgotten fairy tale came back to my mind vividly.
You know this story because you're a villager, of course. But what about the story of the cannibal banquet?
What's that?
You know that the villagers have the blood of man-eating demons in their veins, don't you?
Yeah, I think I've heard of it. I dodged the question. Hinamizawa used to be a desolate village, but it grew in prominence after the Second World War and expanded its influence to Okinomiya and other areas. The people who disliked and discriminated against the villagers called us man-eating demons. I remember that. The young villagers don't take it seriously, but the older people can get seriously upset about it. They certainly can't take it as a joke. So the term man-eating demons is forbidden. We normally never use it. Even during my rebellious phase, I never spoke those words. Mio-san, however, seemed to have no qualms with saying it out loud. So I guess that's why she reacted that way.
Are you upset?
About what?
I know people hate that phrase in Hinamizawa. I apologize if it made you feel uncomfortable.
The old people wouldn't like it, but I'm fine. Would you continue?
Thanks. Okay, so, the ancient villagers had a custom of cannibalism. They ritualized this custom and held various ceremonies based around it. The festival we hold in June isn't just an early summer festival. It used to be a banquet in which the villagers chased after a sacrifice and ate them. They bound a sacrifice to a table, gutted them, and dumped the organs into a river. Wata can mean cotton, but it can also mean organs. That's the root of the word watanagashi.
Organ drifting.
Wow.
Watanagashi.
Indeed. I believe they started using futon mats to cover it all up around the Meiji era, according to my research. They wouldn't be able to do that openly nowadays.
Everything Mio-san was talking about sounded startling. I was just taken aback. I couldn't wholly believe it right away. She sensed that from my expression.
It's not a hoax. I didn't make any of this up. If you promise not to tell anyone, I can show you my notes on Watanagashi.
Mio-san took out a notebook from her bag and flipped through it. She appeared to be doing her research thoroughly. Thank you. I'd love to read it.
Sure. I'd like to keep it confidential. Hehe. But I guess I should share it with my fellow researcher.
Mio-san handed me the notebook a bit hesitantly. It looked like it'd take a whole night to finish reading. It was densely packed with information. I saw copies of various documents and quotes in there too. It wasn't just some delusion of hers. You told me that one person dies because of the curse, and another person is sacrificed and disappears, right? A person is sacrificed and disappears. Satoshi-kun had gone missing. Did he become a sacrifice? What is a sacrifice anyway? Mio-san looked pleased to hear my questions again. She took out another notebook and handed it to me.
I have at least 5 of these. I think you'll understand once you read it, but I'll give you a digest version. Oyashiro-sama's curse is simply Oyashiro-sama's anger. In other words, the curse is caused by Oyashiro-sama's anger. Okay. The curse is caused by Oyashiro-sama's anger. Do you follow?
Yes. You're saying that Oyashiro-sama's mad at the people who opposed the village during the dam conflict, and that's why the curse occurred.
That's right. Oyashiro-sama's anger has to be pacified. If not, something even worse will occur. Something swampy. So all the successive priests at the Furude Shrine had to perform a sacrifice every time the curse struck in order to pacify Oyashiro-sama. It's called a sacrificial ritual.
So, each year on the day of Watanagashi, one person dies because of the curse, and another one is sacrificed to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger? But only one person is actually murdered each time. I've never heard of human sacrifices being made.
Naturally, there's no body. The ritual of sacrifice requires the offering be sunk into Onigafushi Swamp. That swamp is bottomless, and no one would ever surface once they were thrown in there. No body would ever be no body would never be found, of course.
I think that's a typo, but whatever.
Yeah, that threw me off.
So one of the victims is always thrown into the swamp every year? Does that mean Satoshi-kun is also at the bottom of that dark green swamp?
I don't know. I'm not sure that they really throw them into the swamp. But those who make these incidents happen must be eliminating one person based on that legend.
Each year, a traitor to the village dies on the day of Watanagashi because of Oyashiro-sama's curse. And another person is sacrificed in order to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger. That person's body will never be found because he or she is supposedly thrown into the bottomless swamp.
Yes, you get it. The series of mysterious deaths always involves both the curse and the sacrifice. It's a system that allows 2 traitors to die every year. What I'm telling you now probably isn't sufficient, so it might be hard to grasp. Instead, I want you to take the time to read my notes. You'll see what I'm telling you isn't far from the truth at all.
I heard a man's voice just then. A middle-aged man with a hat was waving at Mio-san from the entrance. Who could this be?
Oh my god, it's Tomita-kun.
It's Tomita! Oh my god!
Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to talk to you more. But I guess we'll have another chance to chat. I'll leave those notes to you. I'm looking forward to hearing your opinions.
Mio-san wrapped up the conversation and headed to where the man was waiting for her. She left her old notebooks in my hands. Mio-san waved at me as she left the library with her companion. I took a seat again and opened what she'd given me. What bugged me was the series of mysterious deaths, also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Maybe I'd be able to get closer to the truth by reading these notebooks. If I study them carefully, I might be able to find out who was really behind the incidents. Why did Sadashi-kun have to disappear? What was he involved in? How did that happen? Maybe Takano's notes would bring me the answer. Research notes. Mio Takano. I started flipping through the pages, this time making sure that nobody was watching over my shoulder. Why is there just a picture of the roof? Interesting picture to take, I suppose. It was time for the library to close. I had to leave. How did he even get that shot? What is that shot? I bought some food on my way home.
Like new graphics.
I assume it's probably just the outside of the library. Probably. I bought some food on my way home. I shut my door and locked it right away. Then, I heard the door of the neighboring apartment open. Kasai lived next door. Nobody else lived on this floor of the nearly empty apartment building anyway. I clearly heard the door open and close. Kasai must have noticed that I came home and was coming over because he wanted to talk to me. I unlocked the door and shouted out to him. "Is that you, Kasai? I'll leave the door unlocked for you." "I'm not Kasai-san, Shion." That voice. I twitched. "Can I come in?" "Sure," sis. The door slowly opened. My alter ego, Mion Sonozaki, appeared. She was holding a box of cake, while smiling timidly. "Are you going to keep standing there until I escort you? Come in. Sorry this room doesn't look very cute." "It looks comfortable." Sis looked a bit tense when entering my room. It was her first time in here, and also she made me rip my fingernails off. "How's life?" "My new school is as boring as I thought it would be. I usually go, but I skip classes when I don't feel up to it. I couldn't do that when I was going to St. Lucia's." "So St. Lucia's was really tough, huh?" "Ha, you should go there sometime." "Sorry, I brought cake. Let's eat." Mian opened the box. I saw 2 cheesecakes there.
Ooh,
We have
cheesecake.
We have the same taste in food, so we don't have to fight if we get 2 of the same thing. I chatted with her over the cheesecake. I talked to her about school and whatnot. "If you need furniture, tell me. I might be able to get some for you." Furniture, you say? I finally got used to this room, but I might move out soon, so furniture won't be necessary. Thanks, though. Dad wants me to come back home. I don't want to live with him, but he sounds desperate. He'd be pleased if you came home. He looked lonely while you were gone. You can only say that because you don't have to live with him. Come to think of it, this is the first time I talked to Sis since I was allowed to live as Shion Sonozaki. She didn't look like how she was at the Sonozaki house that day. The successor of the Sonozaki family and my twin sister are 2 different people. The demon lives inside the leader of the Sonozakis. Our bodies are exactly the same, except for the tattoo of a demon on her back. Mion's destiny as the successor was set in stone when she got that tattoo. It's pretty simple. The Mion from that night was different from the Mion before me. When I was forced to tear off my fingernails, I'd momentarily despised her. But if I were the next leader of the family, I'd have done the same. Shion, how are your fingernails? The wounds have closed. I don't bandage them anymore because it looks too conspicuous. But my nails still look ugly, so I don't really like showing them to people. I sneered at her, displaying my incomplete fingernails. Mion grew quiet and looked down. You don't have to apologize. You did what you had to do. You just played the role of successor. I'm not holding any grudges. I'm sorry. Okay, apology accepted. But, if you apologize one more time, that'll be cancelled. I won't forgive you for the rest of my life. Huh? What do you mean? Once you start apologizing, you never stop, so I'm cutting you off. Will you really forgive me? About Satoshi-kun as well? My heart ached when she mentioned his name. It just felt like the ache of an old wound. I figured you loved him. No wonder. I shouted it out loud in front of all of you. I'm not embarrassed anymore. Granny truly believes you've atoned. She thinks you've done all you needed to do, so the matter is finished. That's good. My pain won't go to waste then. I wonder where Satoshi-kun disappeared to, though. I started choking when I heard her say that. I just said it to her myself. I said that I'd forgiven her completely, but that promise instantly evaporated. Because of what she said, I felt like turning into a completely different person. I felt like I turned into a completely different person. What did you just say, Mion? Did you say, I wonder where Satoshi-kun disappeared to? Who else could know, other than you and your folks? What did you say? Where did he go? I felt my eyeballs reddening in anger. It felt as though they were about to pop. I choked on a burning sensation from my throat. Mion's expression rapidly changed. It looked like she noticed the devil's mask on my face. We were one and the same. We could understand each other's thoughts without voicing them. So showing our expressions was like unveiling everything in our hearts to the other. Sorry. Even though I told her not to apologize anymore, Mion apologized. I felt like strangling her. I was going to make her confess where she hid Satoshi-kun. If she told me she threw him in the Onegafuji swamp, I'd strangle her to death right then and there. I really don't know what happened to Satoshi-kun. That's a lie. It's true. Granny doesn't know anything either. Please believe me. That's a lie. Are you saying that Oyashiro-sama's curse demoned him away? There can't be a curse. There can't be. Words kept coming out of my mouth, like I was chanting a spell. I wasn't speaking my own will anymore. It was the demon who was controlling me. The demon that had been sleeping inside me woke up and was speaking through my mouth. The demon's hands grabbed me on by the neck. You guys demon Satoshi-kun away. You and the Sonozaki family. Give him back to me. Give him back. My hand slowly but surely squeezed Mion's neck. Mion put her hands onto mine. I looked at her fingers. 3 of the fingernails on her left hand looked as ugly as mine. Mion? What's this? Tears rolled down her cheeks. She didn't have to answer. She had the same scars as I did. She atoned as well. The way those wounds were healing looked the same as mine. So, did she get these wounds around the same time as I did? It was unfair that only you had to go through that. I felt so bad. Mion started sobbing. I stood there, petrified, still wringing Mion's neck. Since I found out you loved Satoshi-kun, I really wanted you to be happy. Because it's always only you who has to suffer, even though we're twins. It didn't come as a surprise to me that Mion might have also loved Satoshi-kun as I did. We've always liked the same stuff, and even the same people. She was stupid enough to feel obligated towards someone like me. I told Granny to leave you and Satoshi-kun alone. I shouted at her. Then she said she'd let you be if you atoned with sincerity. And you did. So, you were supposed to live happily with him. But Satoshi-kun has gone away. That's terrible. That's... Mion isn't smart enough to shed crocodile tears. Those tears were real. Her tears dissolved my demon's anger like how the sun melts ice. Believe me, Shion, I really don't know why Satoshi-kun disappeared. Neither Granny nor the Sonozaki family have anything to do with it. If Granny forgave you, so she would never do anything to him. Mion, I'm so sorry. Did I hurt you? I took my hands off her neck and held her instead. I'm not hurt. You've been hurt a lot more than me, haven't you? I shouted at the demon in my mind. I believed in Mion. I had been convinced that it was the Sonozaki family that made Satoshi-kun disappear, but Mion denied it while shedding tears. Between her and me, her tears are more convincing than any words. So, I believe her. It absolutely wasn't the Sonozaki family that made him disappear. Hey, don't be so sure of that left. We still got quite a bit of the chapter left to go on. So, do you really think that Satoshi-kun disappeared because of Oyashiro-sama's curse? I don't believe in curses, and Mion didn't do it. If it wasn't the curse or the Sonozaki family, who demoned him away? I don't know. I just know it's not Mion. It's not the Sonozaki family because Mion says so. That's stupid, Shion. Are you going to ignore Satoshi-kun's voice? I know. You don't have to remind me, demon. I can hear his voice. I know he's mumbling with an ambivalent expression, like he always used to do, even though he knows help won't come. I'll help him no matter what. I'll save him if he's alive. I'll avenge him if he's dead. But Mion didn't do it. You just want to take it out on somebody. It doesn't matter who. But I'm Shion, not a demon. You're only a part of me. Don't try to take control. Fuck off. Don't ever show up again. The demon faded away. My body went limp, and I fell to the floor while holding Mion. Shion, are you alright?
He's passed out like 3 times this session.
I mean, it's happening on different days, so yes. This isn't all happening on the same day.
But she is passing out a lot relative to Keiichi. I think Keiichi might be the more powerful protagonist.
Okay, to be fair, Keiichi didn't have his fingernails ripped off, so...
Yeah, but Keiichi's better at staying awake.
Actually, he might have had his fingernails ripped off at the end of Onakakashi, so scratch that. I'm alright now, Mion. Why are we 2 different individuals? Why can't we just be one? Stop it. We've asked ourselves that so many times. But there's no answer. I'm Shion and you're Mion. That's just how it is. I don't care if I'm Mion or Shion. I just want to be one and equal with you. There's nothing we can do. You have the demon on your back. You're destined to become the successor. And we can't change that. I don't want that. I don't need a demon. I don't want it. I'm not a demon. I'm not. I want to be a human like you. Mion is a demon, and Shion is a human. Even though we're twins, there's a difference between us. Was it impossible for humans to live with demons after all? It should be possible, because they did it before. That's the legend of Hinamizawa. Humans and demons lived in harmony together, as Oyashiro-sama watched over them. Mion, Shion, Satoshi-kun, demons, humans, Oyashiro-sama's curse, the series of mysterious deaths, Satoshi-kun's disappearance. We fell asleep while holding each other, while holding everything.
So this confirms that Mion is a boy,
Oh, okay.
because Mion can't do fake tears.
Ah. Oh my god, so many
And-
notebook pages skipping through.
We're skipping quite a few pages.
Payment. Reconciled with a close relative. And the thumbnail for that is fingers dripping with blood. I don't know why. That doesn't have anything to do with that.
Wow.
Notebook page 50. I saw Mia Takano a few times after that. At her core, she was fascinated with the bizarre, and she had an insatiable curiosity that was just as strong. I have to remind myself not to take her story too seriously. Otherwise, I might start believing that Satoshi-kun disappeared because of the curse. She talks about the dark history of Hinamizawa a lot. It's all very interesting. Her theories are based on nothing but conjecture, but some of her intuition covers facts that only members of the Sonozaki family would know. She thinks that Oyashiro-sama's curse is the continuation of these ancient rituals. In other words, she believes that the curse is performed by religious fanatics. According to her theory, a religious cult once existed in Hinamizawa, and the three families stemmed from it. She believes that they are operating behind the scenes in order to revive the dignity of the Onigafuchi people, which was lost during the Meiji era. Mion-san's theories are far-reaching, and looking at them on a larger scale, they end up making a lot of sense. But they can't offer any explanation for Satoshi-kun's disappearance when using them on a smaller one. Her theories are just too broad. Notebook page 64, which is quite a skip from 50. Which is quite a skip from 43. I exchange information with Oishi every now and then. We'd each expect new leads from each other, but neither of us had any luck. I no longer believe the tip that Satoshi-kun might have headed to Tokyo. It was clearly bogus anyway. Although I can't befriend Oishi, he's been fair about the deal. He alone has been serious about uncovering new information. Oishi's sources are quite reliable, so whenever I found some dubious tip, I checked with him to see if it was valid. My meetings with him have diminished in frequency since he's been assigned to new cases. Eventually, we stopped meeting entirely. Oishi stopped investigating, and I really reached the limits of my sources of information. People now think that Satoshi-kun's disappearance was a supernatural phenomenon called demoning away. In Hinamizawa, they refer to his disappearance as him having transferred, and nobody will talk about it otherwise. I don't like the way that phrase is used to erase him. Notebook page 85, which is a massive fucking jump. Holy shit. During the upheaval surrounding Oyashiro-sama's curse in 1982, I was pulled this way and that way by new leads on Satoshi-kun's disappearance. Every time I found information that looked promising, I kept changing my theories. But that also became an incredible burden on me. It wore me down plenty on its own. The fatigue was harsh, but it also provided a very kind acceptance. Bit by bit, it soothed away the anger, sadness, and doubt that wore me down. I'll never forget Satoshi-kun. I'll never try to forget him and move on. I constantly repeated those to myself in my head. I repeated them to keep my memories of Satoshi-kun from fading too, over and over. For the sake of my fun memories of Satoshi-kun, together with my fear and my sadness, I repeated them forever and ever. Alright, so this is very far into the future, it seems. A love that is light and fleeting, like a soap bubble, If it seeks the sky, it will break and vanish before long. The girl's thoughts weren't granted. The tears that were shed changed to the color of blood and yearned for sacrifice. The sadness that pierced her transformed into rage, and ultimately to murderous intent.
Wow.
Everything was absorbed in pure black, and the darkness continued to spread. In the end, even to herself. I assume these are Broomcastel's poems. Mei Akashi. Would it be better if I hadn't been born? This blood-stained hand couldn't even grasp the air. Sorry. Would it be better if I hadn't been born? This blood-stained hand couldn't even grasp the air. I ruined that.
Born.
Fuck. Shit. Okay. 1983 time. The 4th year of the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, also known as Oishiro-sama's curse, 1 year after Satoshi Hojo's disappearance. I hadn't been able to get used to my new school in Okinomiya, but I had some friends there now. Since I got a part-time job at my relative's store, I had some extra pocket money too. I ended up living with my parents after all, so I didn't have to pay for my living expenses. It felt great to freely spend the money I earned from working. I still used the room Kasaya set up for me from time to time. It was a convenient hideout for when I didn't want to see my parents. In fact, I was planning to spend a day there today. Damn that teacher! She told my parents that I was skipping classes. My dad got upset, and that was why I didn't want to stay at home. I had been asking for it, though. My teacher should know that my dad is a Yakuza, and that it gets really scary when he's mad. On the whole, my life had been going well so far, except that it was boring. The reason I could enjoy this lifestyle is probably because I had to live in secret before. It was a great relief to be able to live without having to fake my identity. Well, that might have been valuable experience. I think I learned from it. I was going grocery shopping and thought I'd get enough food for a week or so.
Like we're about to see Keiichi.
Hopefully. I assume he's probably going to get a Sprite if we're in 1983 now. My parents would appreciate my presence more and more after missing me for a week. I was doing this for their sakes. Oh? Oh wait, isn't there a 100 yen sale today? Yeah, there is! I knew how to save my pocket money. I was in a good mood. I spun around with my arms spread out. I felt like I was inside a little whirlwind. My arm hit a motorcycle parked on the sidewalk. It obviously wasn't where it's supposed to be. What is with these 3 guys? What is their fucking problem? Ow! What the? Who parked this motorcycle here? I gave the motorcycle a kick with no hesitation. This is feeling a little familiar, gotta say.
Time loop.
Well, I mean, it's not time looped yet because
It's a time loop, but the only thing that consistently happens is just someone fucks with these guys' motorcycles.
No. It has to be Shion specifically. You don't understand. It's the same. Well, I guess Keiichi took up the mantle after Shion. There were 3 motorcycles lined up in a row. It's the same fucking guys. It's the same guys. They all fell like dominoes. It was beautiful and so much fun. Oh, this was odd. I felt like I'd gone through the exact same experience before. While blinking my eyes in an effort to recall when that was, some people grabbed me by the neck and dragged me into a dark alley. It looked like these punks were the owners of those motorcycles. They started shouting at me. This really was strange. I was having deja vu.
Fucker, you bitch!
What you think you're doing, huh?
I'm very tempted to go back and see if they're saying the exact same things as well. Yes! He said it!
Fucking bash your head in, bitch!
Grah! Gonna pay for what you did. I'm pretty sure this is the exact same things they said verbatim. That's right. It was when I met Satoshi-kun for the first time. He came to save me. If I pretended to cry again now, would he come to save me again? I made a wish.
This
And
is a very strange way to farm boyfriends.
Well, it worked once. Maybe it'll work again. And I started pretending to cry and beg for mercy. At that time, I doubted my ears. Keiichi! Yes! Yes, there he is!
Cut it out. Can't you see she's crying?
It's time for the reveal. I couldn't quite see his face because... Sorry. It was a boy about my age. I couldn't quite see his face because of the light illuminating him from behind.
Him.
Sadashi-kun? Of course, it couldn't be him. It couldn't be. There he is! He's beautiful!
He's fucking mad.
He looks like.
Alright, I'm
so
gonna
goofy.
screenshot his angry face. I'm curious, what does this face look like in He just looks mildly disappointed, but in this one he looks fucking pissed.
Yeah.
He looks pissed as hell.
How did they downgrade this so much?
He's gonna pop a capillary. Oh my god.
When I snapped out of my daydream, I realized that it wasn't Sadashi-kun after all. I'm telling you guys, these facial expressions are fucking amazing. He looks less gracious than Sadashi-kun, so to speak. If Sadashi-kun was pristine and untouched, then this guy would have scratches all over him. But although they were completely different, I got a similar impression from him somehow. What the hell? What the fuck are ye?
You wanna get hurt or what? Who can say something? Son of a bitch!
The boy looked a bit taken aback.
No change in expression whatsoever. It's the exact same sprite. Well, I just thought you might want to let her go because she's crying, so...
The fucker, you think you telling us what to do?
Whoa, hold on. I'm against violence.
What was up with this guy? I felt ashamed that I mistook him for Sadashi-kun even for a second. He seemed cool at first, but he wasn't as cool as Sadashi-kun after all. Damn! Dissed. She's known him for 3 seconds.
I'm sorry that your motorcycles were knocked down, but I hope you don't feel too bad about it. How could I make you feel better? Of course, we don't have any money on us, you know?
If you don't got the money, then...
If you got no money, you gotta pay with your body. Oh,
This chick got some real nice boobies. Let's strip her down and see.
Keiichi's mere presence has made everything worse. Hey, are you kidding me? I tighten my grip on the stun gun in my pocket. Then I turn it up to the maximum intensity. Don't hold a grudge against me if you die, pervs. Who wants to take this one? Okay, I'll take it.
Girls get stripped in those porn videos.
Thank you for the disgusting huffing.
Yeah, the stripping's better than the actual sex.
They indulge in their imaginations, which rouse their spirits. Hey now, why are you perverts closing in on me? Your gross hands are groping the air. Are you gonna try and violate me?
smooth nice.
Stripper, stripper! Ah, yeah! Don't half-ass it. Do not half-ass it. That's the one thing I won't allow.
Strip her from the top to the bottom. Socks off. She'll be as naked as the jaybird.
The what?
The what are you talking about?
The Jaybird!
The Jaybird.
The oft-quoted Jaybird.
The Jayboyd!
I like the J-Boyd at the end there. That was pretty good. Hey, are you out of your mind? Don't touch me with those filthy hands. Then, a flash of light cut through the air.
Hey,
Is that the
used
boy?
a flashbang.
She had been studying the blade.
You stupid fox!
Okay, no, I'm screenshotting this one. That's too good.
That's the thumbnail.
You stupid fucks! Blows like thunderbolts. Blows like thunderbolts. Knocks the pucks down. Wow, so he was actually strong after all?
What the hell? You want some?
It's not coming through. Oh,
Same
no.
guy.
Huh? I'll just pretend that that was... Just
have a
pretend it
clue.
was the same guy. Okay, go ahead. Huh?
You don't have a clue, idiots.
There you go.
What the fuck are you on about? There's nothing arousing about stark nakedness. Leave your socks on, no matter what.
Jesus Christ.
That is the ironclad rule. Listen up, monkeys. What's the difference between Homo sapiens and other animals? That's right, humans wear clothes. Human beings without clothes are just animals. If you get aroused only when a girl is completely naked, you're less than human. You might as well be animals. I'm gonna knock some sense into you. Clench those teeth. Woof. That was a great.
That was pretty good.
I don't know how I'm supposed to do that.
Sounded like a cartoon character. So it
Yeah.
sounded like Goofy. You mentioned a porn movie, didn't you? Let's say there's a cosplay sex video. The definition of cosplay is too broad.
Okay, never mind. This is the thumbnail. This is the thumbnail.
Hypothetically. Let's say there's a cosplay sex video.
Hypothetically.
Holy shit, he plays Deadlock? Yo!
Lecture on that subject is as difficult as explaining the spirit of Yamato to Yankees parachuting down from B-29. So limit the scope to the most popular one, school uniforms. What are the three most prominent divisions in the largest category of school uniforms? Answer me! Oh, we know this one. There's competition style. No.
No.
That's swimsuit specifically.
That's a swimsuit. That's a subcategory of swimsuits.
I see. That's right. Regular uniforms, gym uniforms, and school swimsuits. Both the sailor style and blazer style are included under regular uniforms, by the way. Gym shorts and bloomers are likewise. And the color preference between white and navy school swimsuits is the same. Oh, doesn't it sound exciting already? Let's say each of you has a preference in one of these three divisions. Hey, you, delinquent A, you take the regular uniform. Delinquent B, you take the gym uniform. You, delinquent C, you take the school swimsuit.
Delinquent A, B, and C.
He's
Great.
out freaking them so hard right
Yeah,
now.
I think
out
they're
for a
just
kill.
gonna. I think they're just gonna get like bothered and just leave.
Picture the image in your head within 3 seconds. Are you done? It's not good enough. Do it again. Let's say there's a porn video of your favorite cosplay. Use your imagination. Come on. Say, sir, yes, sir, when you got it. Are you really military men, you maggots? Good. You all seem to have an image in your heads now. Let's move on. Imagine that your favorite cosplay is stripped entirely naked. Your stupid
Giving a
desire.
lecture.
Think. If you take all of their clothes off, that's not cosplay anymore, is it?
So this is what it feels like from the other side, huh?
He just threw a grenade at them. That sort of video is rampant lately. It's just lamentable.
We threw a flashbang earlier. Makes sense.
Humans without clothes aren't civilized. They're animals. He's fucking Vector from Resident Evil Operation City. All the
I'm
naked
going
girls
in.
beside you. You'd be a pack of dogs, monkeys, or pheasants. Pack your bags and get out. Wait, get back here. As you know, the huge amount of Russian porn goods are going around lately thanks to the end of the Cold War.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You screenshot this one too, probably.
I did. I will have to, whenever I get around to thumbnails, I will have to make a collage of this conversation.
I have another thing to say.
Actually, this isn't a monologue. This is a fucking.
I like that the delinquents
Just a
haven't
lecture.
said anything for a while.
manifesto.
Yes, he's getting
they're just letting
lectured.
him- They're just letting him go on about this.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. Ah.
You know that? Get out of here. I heard that a style called Beautiful Russian Schoolgirl, which is a combination of the Japanese uniform fetish and some Russian thing.
Some Russian
Will
thing.
never accept that. School uniforms are part of Japanese culture and art. Stupid barbarians will never understand the Japanese spirit. Are you listening? You pathetic squid. The guy isn't even Russian, he's just... just there.
Keiichi, what is your fucking problem?
Clench your teeth. I'll train you till you drop. I won't let you sleep until you're capable of perfecting your imagination skills.
Shion hasn't said or thought anything
Comes
in
my
a while
whip.
either. At that point, I heard a bustle of people running this way.
My Barasan, I gathered some people.
I saw several kids running towards us. It seemed like our backup had arrived.
Oh shit, let's get out of here.
The three punks had just been standing there agape, but they started running away when they saw that many people. So he gave them a lecture on porn, so that they would stay
Like,
for long
porn was
enough.
way better back in my day.
Back
says
in
this
my
teenager.
day, you see, the school uniforms can be divided into multiple subcat. Anyway, you're awesome, my Barasan. You had those punks transfixed all by yourself. I think that's around the voice I was doing.
One of them even had a nosebleed. You're so strong, my Barasan.
Happy.
Seems my personal aura has grown more powerful. This keeps up, I'll soon surpass even Coach's Made in Heaven reality marble. Anyway, are you alright, Leon?
What the fuck is that? What's that Toho spell card name?
Made in Heaven is a JoJo joke, and reality marble is a fake Stay Night.
Was that chapter even out at the time this was written?
Maybe?
I don't
I don't
think
know.
it
They
was.
make the same joke in JoJo.
It's not a joke. It's just the localized name of the stand, by the way.
I think it's spelled that way though. It's made. Isn't it?
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, because it's the Queen album. It's Made in Heaven.
Oh, I see. Anyway,
Freaking. When was it? Oh yeah, it was 1999. It would have been out. It would have been topical.
Oh,
'cause it finished
no.
2003.
okay. Well, I guess it is a reference. The boy was apparently called Maebara. He turned around to face me. Even the way he mistook me for Mion sounded like Sadashi-kun. But Sadashi-kun isn't a pervert like him.
I was anxious to see how he'd fight back, but I guess those guys were too many, huh? I don't believe it.
I was so confused. I couldn't yet grasp the situation. Who was this guy? Mion has friends like him? I was still spacing out in shock. So, I forgot to move until his hand touched my head.
Well, you know, I'll forget that I saw you cry, so cheer up, okay?
Rub rub. The boy called Maebara stroked my head roughly. I didn't feel good. It hurt, actually. But still, his hand had the same warmth. Later on, Mion told me about him. He was called Keiichi Maebara. Kei-chan for short. He's one grade below us. Not only that, but he just moved to Hinamizawa. Thanks to his attitude and lack of manners, he'd already become an idol in their class. Mion joyously explained all of this. Sure, he sounded like a fun kid. I knew why Mion was into him, but Satoshi-kun is way cooler. He wasn't worth stealing from Sis, or was he? My heart throbbed. I was excited. I felt like I'd gotten a new toy. I was curious what kind of relationship Mion intended to build with him. I'd love to tease her about it. Thanks, Kei-chan. Let me buy you a drink. My uncle's restaurant is just nearby, so why don't we go there? Satoshi-kun would refuse out of modesty. But Keiichi Maebara said okay within 2 seconds. Well then. I couldn't wait to tease the two of them. So this isn't really, like, relevant to anything, but I do find it interesting, because in Chapter 2, wasn't it Shion that saved Keiichi, and not the other way around? From pretty much this exact situation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that's interesting. I wonder what happened to make Shion save Keiichi instead. My boring life suddenly became bright again.
Whoa, hey, don't cling to my arm.
Oh, you don't like it?
Well, I don't hate it, but it's just your breasts that are touching me, and
My breasts bother you? Keiichi Maebara was fun. Mion thought the same way I did. She would always talk about him. I was happy for her. It made me smile. I guess Kei-chan really is really your favorite, huh, sis? What's the most interesting thing about him? Let's see. To put it plainly, he's just funny. For example, just a couple of days ago in the club, Mion really liked him, but didn't seem to think it was love yet. She's reserved in that area, so that was really like her. As for me, well, I didn't hate him, but my feelings weren't the same as Mion's. Kei-chan was just too childish compared to Satoshi-kun. I wondered how Satoshi-kun was doing. Was he waiting for things to cool down somewhere far away? The case had already been solved, though. That dopehead was the murderer. There was no reason for him to wait anymore. I shook my head. I shouldn't think about it too much. Oh, wait. I know. The case was confidential, so the arrest of the culprit hasn't been made public. So Satoshi-kun hadn't realized that he could come back. I know he's a little thick-headed. Maybe he'd be waiting for things to calm down until the end of time. But if so, couldn't he give a call to Sadako at least? He should tell her that he's living in a faraway place, but that he'd be coming home soon. That stupid Sadako. She'd been living with Rika Furude ever since Satoshi-kun went away. So nobody would pick up the phone even if he called. Stupid girl. Don't you want your big brother to come home? Given Satoshi-kun's personality, he wouldn't remember any phone numbers other than his home number. So he wouldn't be able to contact anybody in Hinamizawa. Maybe he's been calling Sadako every night. He keeps ringing, but nobody picks up. Then he'd assume Sadako might be taking a bath, or be in the restroom. He put on a puzzled smile while mumbling, "Oomph," like he always does.
what do you mean, like you've never seen him on the phone ever?
I mean, he does have a habit of doing that.
She's known him for about a grand total of 8 hours.
I imitated his voice without realizing it. After that, what? What's up? Didn't you say something, Shion? I laughed it off and urged Mion to continue. I realized then that her tone had changed. I hadn't been listening to her because I was thinking about Satoshi-kun. I thought she was still happily talking about Kei-chan, but Mion sounded grim now. Her faint smile looked pitiful. It was too late to ask what was going on. So instead, I concentrated on her story instead. After all that, Uncle gave everybody a doll as a thank you gift. Everybody except for me. Okay, except for you. I wanted one too, but I couldn't say it in front of everybody. Still can't express your needs, huh? And then? Mion sniffled. I realized that she was on the verge of tears. The cutest doll was in Kei-chan's bag. And you wanted that doll? It didn't matter which one, but although Kei-chan knew I didn't get one, he didn't give it to me. He didn't give it to me. He said the doll wouldn't fit me and that I should be born as a boy in my next life. That's what he said. That was Keiichi's weak point. He might be fun and popular, but he wasn't mature. Not like Satoshi-kun. I want to start all over. I want to go back to when I just met him and start all over. I want him to treat me like a girl from the beginning. Don't take it too seriously. It'll be okay, because it's just you who wants to start over, while he didn't even notice anything wrong. It'd be harder if you guys fought over it or something. Can I start over? If you didn't cry in front of him, it's not too late. You can cry as much as you want now, and if you show him a different side of you from tomorrow on, you can still fix it. Okay. I'm amazed at how insensitive he is, but part of that is just the impression you've been giving him so far. If you change your attitude from tomorrow on, you can still change his mind. How do I change my attitude? How? If I tell you to act cute, you'd start going to school in frilly clothes. So don't think, and just be natural. But without overdoing it, pay attention to how you behave around him. Ah, and don't forget to be cautious of Rena. She's a bit ahead of you so far. Kei-chan might prefer Rena at this point. Oh, it's true. Rena's really girly. She's cute and caring. That just means you can't slack off for even a moment, sis, because you've got a rival. Cheers can attract men, but they don't anchor them. You should always be smiling, but cry when it really counts. Dang, Shion's got this whole boba bitch thing down to a T, doesn't she?
Boba bitch.
She had milk tea earlier. If boba was popular in Japan at this point in time, she would have been a boba bitch. I am being straight factual right now. That's how you typically do it. Plus, also her personality. Anyway, maybe I should try that on Kei-chan myself. No, don't! He's the boy you like, so I guess it's natural that I like him too. How can I attract him? Hey sis, why don't we have a competition over him? No, never! I'll kick you into orbit if you come near Hinamizawa. I'm happy for you, sis. It's not too late at all. It's important to know the distance between the boy you love and yourself, and shift the way you appeal to him to compensate. The boy I love is missing, you know? I don't even know where he is, or when he's coming back. Compared to that, you're very lucky. Mion was saying she'd do her best from tomorrow on with red, tearful eyes, but I sensed a deeply negative feeling emerging inside me. Nobody was blaming Mion for being happy with Keiichi. I wasn't envious. I wasn't jealous. I just didn't want her to be blamed the same way I was blamed. It was just that there was no space for Satoshi-kun in Mion's mind anymore. Filled as it was with Kei-chan and her other friends now. It didn't matter to her if Satoshi-kun came back, or not. Just like how she didn't care if it was rainy or sunny tomorrow. What about me, then? Had I been thinking about Satoshi-kun all the time for the past year? I wasn't proud of my own answer. I'd become used to life without Satoshi-kun. His absence didn't hurt me anymore. I was getting used to life with Keiichi Maibara. And if I let my guard down, he might just fill up the space I'd been saving for Satoshi-kun. If Shion Sonozaki had prayed harder for Satoshi-kun to return, he might have come home already. Sorry. Where did Satoshi-kun go? Last year, right after his disappearance, I'd paid close attention to the information circulating in the Sonozaki family and its underground connections. And I frequently went to the police station to check with Oishi for new information. Even with all that, I still couldn't get any new leads on his whereabouts. I eventually became interested in Oryou Shiro-sama's curse, which surrounded Satoshi-kun's disappearance. I researched the dark history of the village. The more I looked into it, the less likely his survival seemed. I returned Mion-san's scrapbooks to her. And then, I hadn't gone to the library since. I started a new life in a new school. I'd made new friends. And in the same way, as falling leaves covered the ground, I felt like I was losing sight of what was really important to me. It was already almost the end of spring. They said that summer was coming early, and it'd be very hot this year. Normally it'd be the rainy season now, but we'd had no rain at all. The Watanagashi festival was right around the corner. It'd been almost a year since Satoshi-kun went missing. In Hinamizawa, they don't allow you to talk openly about Oryou Shiro-sama's curse or the series of mysterious deaths. So, everybody acts like the murder of Satoshi-kun's aunt never happened. That's because Satoshi Hojo-kun was a member of the family of traitors. He fell victim to Oryou Shiro-sama's curse on the 4th year running. He was demoned away. Everybody was trying to forget about his existence and erase their memories of him. Don't make him disappear because of the curse. Don't erase his existence. Satoshi-kun was living in Hinamizawa just a year ago. He went to school. He was an A student. He was a member of the Hinamizawa fighters. He could never hit the ball when it really mattered.
He ate people food.
He was unreliable, but pure. He was warm. Because of the curse, people made him disappear. They stopped mentioning his name, and acted like he never existed. A new resident like Keiichi Maibara wouldn't even know him. He seriously believed that Satoshi-kun had transferred out. I miss you, Satoshi-kun. I want to go shopping with you again. I want to be in a baseball game with you again, and get a cold drink afterwards. I want to tease you, and I want you to stroke my head again. Your hand was so warm. I felt as if my whole body was being caressed. Satoshi-kun. I haven't opened this notebook in a while. My feelings have been written down for over 150 pages. This notebook is the key to my heart. The other me who's been sleeping since last year is slowly waking up. Notebook page 150.
Wow. That's an even number.
Sure is. Just like the amount of people who die from the curse.
Well,
I'm quite amazed by your dirty deeds, Keiichi-san.
He's a boy, after all.
Rena?
He's dead.
damn.
Miss Rena Ryugu.
Ren is asleep right now. Come back later.
Oh no. Okay. Wake up! Hey, wake up right now, please.
Are we a little overtime?
We're overtime
Yeah.
anyway, I guess. Alright,
This is a new scene too, so.
alright. We'll wrap it up here then. Alright, GG, gamers.
We did it.
Bye forever.
So, what I learned from this session is that Keiichi plays Deadlock because he knows who Yamato is.